There we go. It is 2 p.m. Actually, I'm 1 minute late. I do apologise. I was trying to type the bloody title, which is the problem there. Hopefully, we are all fit and well on this Sunday. I'll just wait for a few more to arrive at this stage. I know if you're watching the playback right now, that will be something that will be on your mind. Why is he not talking like a lunatic? It's the Sunday service with Bob Flavin. And ask me anything, Q&A, the usual sort of stuff. Here's some bodies starting to appear now. Afternoon all, numbers are flying up. Hopefully you're here from Facebook. I did post a message on Facebook on my own Facebook account, which I very rarely do post anything on Facebook. Let me know if you can all hear. Just click the like button there. Make sure that you can all hear me okay and everything's alright. Because obviously I can hear me, but I'm sitting in my own kitchen. So that would explain why I can hear me. Loads of questions come in by email. Good God, there's a lot of you arriving now. Thank you very much. Thumbs up, lovely. What do you think of the Golf GTE hybrid? I quite like that, Damien. Golf is always pretty good. Thanks, Stuart. Very good. Stuart, I'll get to your question next, right? Golf is always pretty good. Golf has always been fairly solid, reliable thing to get. Golf E with the electric version was really nice. I quite like that. Hello, Claire Morris, Smurf2160. I have to answer a question by Stuart Young, who has also joined the chat here, because he emailed in the question beforehand. Very clever, Stuart, because it's about to get very, very busy. Stuart says, my 2014 Audi Adaptive Cruise Control, although good, has moments of stupidity, especially driving into low sun where it sometimes turns off and fails to see small items such as 40-foot trucks. In relation to autonomous cars, how do you see things progressing after one of them wipes out something across the road? Who's liable, the driver, the manufacturer, the car electronics? Stuart, that is a really good question. Number one, current adaptive cruise control is literally looking at the lines on a road. It's not really looking at things the way we see things. So it doesn't see a truck, it sees an obstacle. It sees a shape that it's trying to avoid or slow down or mind or watch. Now it has moved on quite a bit. The Audi that I'm driving this week goes back tomorrow, but that was really good active cruise control, and it really did see the road in a way I wasn't expecting. Don't forget to hit a thumbs up there, guys, if you like this. That shares the message out for me. It'd be really good if you thumbs up. But where it's going, who's liable right now? You are, the driver. You are. In this country, we have a law, and in the law says you must be in control of your vehicle at all times. Control is considered to be feet on the pedals and hands on the steering wheel. That's what's considered to be in control. So if you take your hands off the steering wheel and the car crashes, still your fault. So remember that one. And number two, where is it going is within the next decade. Mark my words on this. I've been saying this for 2 years. Within the next decade, we're not going to be driving anymore. We're going to be able to drive, but we'll just press a button to go home, press a button to go to work, but we can do it. Hi, Cameron Vlog. How are you? I must go and get, because it's very hard to see questions in the history on this. What do you make of Renault teasing the new Renault Sport Megane? We'll see when it comes out. Scrobbean. We'll see when it comes out if that's going to be any good or not. The new Hyundai i30 is a very nice car. There's Zadine Reda. It is a very nice car. Hyundai always make good, kind of solid feeling cars, but they still lack that sort of European solidity. But they are charging quite a pretty penny these days. Now, don't forget, Hyundais have kind of gone up in price. Would you do a review on buying a second-hand car? I certainly would, John Gate. No problem at all. I'll have to arrange that, obviously, because I don't have a second-hand car. So I'll have to do something like that. What do you think of a 1-litre petrol Octavia? Tim, I was a passenger in it, and I drove it briefly. Seemed pretty good. The problem with 1 litre is you have to add a turbo or a supercharger or something that makes the power come on a bit bigger. Now that means that little turbo has to spin very, very, very quickly, quite a lot over a long period of time. So in 5 years' time, like you think if that thing spins at like 250,000 spins per hour or something stupid like that, that's going to spin, that's going to go. It's going to go. There's no way a turbo can survive that long in a car. So longevity is always a little bit of a weird one for me when it comes to turbos, and particularly in the Ford version. Make sure you click the little thumbs up. It's down there, John, underneath the video. If you're watching this on a desktop, you're definitely able to click the thumbs up thing. So click the thumbs up, comment, share, like, all the usual things you're supposed to do. Anyway, even I can't see the live Why is that? It's as thick as two planks. You'd think you'd be able to see it over here. I think it'd be useful at this stage, wouldn't you? Was looking forward to driving. Used to go to Superb as I drive an Audi, and I can't seem to like any other car quality crap you think about Superb. What do you think about the Superb? Superb, Ricky Finley. Superb is it's a big car, value for money, but the price has gone up a bit, so it's starting to rise up to the point of like Ford Mondeos, and you know it's well into that region. And if you spec it up enough, you're going to end up in quite a luxury car. But value for money, it's massive. It's always looked a little bit awkward on the outside, but the latest generation is the least awkward looking, especially in a state form. It's really good value for money. It rides well, although it's a bit boring. The Octavia is more fun to drive, but usually only in RS mode. Hi from Australia. Again, Wiki Mama says, survived the cyclone. Debbie, well done. Question for you. What's your least favourite car ever that you've reviewed? The least favourite car I have currently at the moment is Nissan Tida. The worst car I've ever reviewed, a SsangYong Rodius. About 2 years ago, I refused to make a video about it because it was just so ugly. It was absolutely hideous. I wanted to put a paper bag over my head. It's a horrible car. But value for money on the inside, a SsangYong Rodius is huge. It's cavernous. But God, can you imagine looking out the window at the thing? Can you imagine looking out the window and go, I drive a Rodius? No, it'd just be wrong. Wrong on so many levels. Why is car design slow to move forward? It's still essentially the same design as the 70s. Well, it's not really. 70s actually had some very pretty cars, but the big problem with car design at the moment is EU rules and having to pass NCAP rated tests. So if you look, if you stand a standard SUV, a standard like a SsangYong or whatever it is, any of them European has like 5 stars. If you stand one of them beside a low slung like Audi or something or a Volkswagen, you'll notice that the headlights are about the same height. That's an EU regulation. And you know the bonnet of a car. So when you hit a pedestrian, if you hit a pedestrian, their head is supposed to hit the bonnet, not the windscreen, because the windscreen has no give and will kill them, and a bonnet has give, so it bends when they hit it. So that means that the bonnet has to be a certain length for that to occur, and that's why cars are starting to look kind of the same when you look at them. The shapes and the lines and the things are all pretty much the same. I had the misfortune of driving a Tida and a Rodius, or God, what's wrong with you? No, don't do that. Rodius, no. They're both horrific. They are horrific. Most of these cars are not meant to be in Europe. We have very specific tastes in Europe. Americans have very specific tastes. Canadians have it. Australians have it. New Zealanders have it. And car manufacturers build a car to suit that taste. So the Tida we get here was never designed for Ireland. It was designed to come out in India. They just happened to have no saloons, and we needed a saloon, so the Tida came out here as well. It's been replaced now by the Pulsar, which isn't much better in looks, to be honest with you. That Audi A5 is some machine. Yes, it is. It is a very nice, very comfy machine. Drove all the way to Limerick yesterday and made a video about it. About driving yesterday down to Limerick and back. It was lovely. It was really, really nice car. Very relaxing drive. Incredibly quiet in the cabin. A couple of days ago you would have seen an autonomous driving video that I made as well. A self-driving test thing, which is very good. So you should watch that. Do you think Conor McGregor and HR Owen will succeed in bringing more high-end cars to Ireland? No. Stephen, it'd be lovely if it did, but Conor McGregor probably doesn't own those cars. He probably be given the thing to look like he's cool driving around it. He probably is cool. I offered to interview him before he was famous and he turned it down, so long before he was famous, but that's okay. They won't. No, there isn't the appetite or the market or even the roads, in fairness. We outsell, like if you take per capita, there's only 4.5 million people in Ireland. We probably sell more high performance cars in this country than it do per capita in the UK. So you'd be surprised. New Micro looks like a big step forward. It is, Paul, to be honest with you. It actually looks like something that I wouldn't be ashamed of driving. The Micro is quite nice. Just the other Japanese you have to do is very strange. Did you try to drive the new Insignia? No, I didn't, Ricky. It was only internationally launched last week or something. So it's not quite in Ireland yet. I'll get in touch with Opel at some point and have a spin in it. Syad B, I think that's Syad. I'm from Morocco. What do you think of the Nissan Qashqai 2016 1.6 CVT gearbox? Suspect there. Also, there's a difference between the Qashqai sold in Morocco and those sold in Is there sold in Ireland? I think it's sold in Ireland. Yes, there would be. Interior and suspension would be very different from my country to yours. So for the ones that are here and the one from Morocco might have very different interiors. Sometimes leather doesn't work in a warm country, so they don't put it in. It's just like half leather or cloth interior. And the suspension setup is always the last thing that happens to a car before it goes into a country, so the suspension will be different. CVT gearbox is something you have to get used to. It's not very economical at times. It's very light, but it makes a very strange noise. It's the Nissan Qashqai is ubiquitous. It's a lovely car and really nice to drive. I had one over Christmas. Made a nice video about that at night time as well. Definitely worth a little spin out. But I tend to stay away from the CVT gearbox. I'd rather have something a little bit more manual. Did you ever drive a Rover? Any thoughts on Rover 400 Saloon? Rover has Rover has become very, very cool again. Very cool again. Not the new stuff, okay, not that MG stuff that the companies bought out, but old Rovers are very cool. Any of them with a big engine just won't break, right? The smaller ones, the later stuff, when it came right up to the end of Rover, stay away from that stuff. But other than the rest of it is okay. Alfa Romeo Giulia QV, yeah, Dwayne, I know. I actually seen another video this morning where Matt Watson was testing 3 cars against each other on a drag race. What a waste. Anyway, it was a waste of a test. Like, why can't you test these? Why does every car reviewer think that their job is to go to an airfield or a racetrack and that's how you test a car? No one else drives them like that. You buy an Alfa Romeo, you're going to drive it up the road. You have to drive around the town. You need to have faces and things. Anyway, Gary Fleming, what's your view of old Mercs? Just got an O2 S320 CDI and loving the comfort and refinement. Just the tax bill is so painful. I know, Gary, that's what kills them. Mate of mine bought a 7 Series, a 740i. Just drives on the weekend and he has to pay like 2.5 grand in tax. But it's top spec, got everything, even the double glazed windows, the whole lot, and it's the most comfortable, luxurious thing in the world, and he got it for 2 grand. So, brilliant, I have no problem. Tax has to be paid. If you can afford to pay it, then you afford to be driving something decent, right? If you're going to pay 2 grand tax for a modern car, 1,500 quid or something around there for a modern version of a car, why not go out and buy an S320 or an S whatever, get something good. Do you think leather seats in a car are worth the extra cost? Generally, John Gate, yeah, I would say they are. They can be very costly. There's different kinds of leather as well. So there's like real leather, then there's car leather, then there's different kinds of leather within the car realm as well as like imitation leather and things. Most leather is actually made by hand. So yeah, there is an extra cost to it. I would pick a leather seat myself, but only if it had seat heaters. I can tell you that straight off because you die in the cold here in Ireland. Sometimes you get into a leather car. Whoa. Hey Bob, you said the new 7 Series is not a driver's car, more a passenger's car. Would you think the A8 is in the same bracket? A8 is, that's from Gollum, James. James, the A8 is a little bit more sporty. A little bit more, I won't say a lot more sporty, but a little bit more sporty. Comes in Quattro, will handle high speed. So will the 7 Series, but neither of them are particularly a driver's car. Now, by a driver's car, I mean someone who's going to sit and actually do, want to turn into the corner and tuck in the nose of a car into a corner and maybe sit nicely in the seat. They're just not designed for that. They're designed to be sitting in the back and being a limousine. S8 on the other hand, that'd be more like it, right? What do you think about the Mazda 5? Mazda 5 tends to be very firm, very sporty. All Mazdas are. They tend to go after the sporty end of the market every time. So if you're going to go down the route of the Mazda 5, just remember that they're actually quite small in size and really only 6-seaters inside. Okay? Remember that. Is it Mazda 5? Is that Mazda 5? Mazda 5 is the one with the sliding doors inside, isn't it? I remember all these things top of my head. Amazing. Do you know, is the commercial tax on 5-seater Jeep stopping sometime this year? JP, I think it's stopping on future purchases, not the ones currently purchased. So the ones that's already on the road, I think is going to do, but they're going to try and stop it again. Mainly because people are buying a 5-seat van and driving around with their kids and wife on a Sunday all day, and then during the week they just drive it themselves. So they have a family car that is commercially taxed. Loophole came out years ago. I don't know if they're going to stop it. Depends how many people complain about it. The pressure groups are the ones who sort that one out. Out of curiosity, how are cars taxed in Ireland? There's 2 forms. Road tax cars, ordinary cars. There's 2 forms. One is from 2008 to now, which is taxed based on CO2 emissions of the car, which is completely wrong. I said it was wrong at the time, it's still wrong now. But it means that certain cars that are in tax band A, like the Audi A5 outside the door, manage to be in the lowest tax band. Anything pre-2008 is in the old CC, so it depends how big the engine is. So for instance, my car's a 1.6 litre petrol, it pays 500 and something quid tax per year. What would you say is the most popular performance car in Ireland? Stephen Carney asks. Popular performance car in Ireland? I don't know. Usually some kind of Jap import. It used to be anyway, like Subaru Imprezas or Mazda Rotary Club. Actually, Mazda Rotary Club are going to have a meet soon. Check out some of the old Mazda Rotary engine things you really want to get performance cars. The most popular performance car this year, I think, was Golf R. Outsold everything by miles, and rightly so. Did good job actually. I never hear anything about VW's DSG gearbox anymore. Are there all the problems fixed? Michael, there was, in fairness, the proliferation of the internet means that everybody complains. You will only read something that's bad on the internet. So you'll only see when something goes wrong with a gearbox. People go, oh, there's something wrong with my gearbox, and they go mad on the internet, right? And they all write about it. They will never say, you'll never hear the proportion of people out there who have everything okay with their gearbox. Now, DSG went through problems about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, like slipping gears and dropping from one gear to the other. All of that's been corrected. I've had zero problems with any DSG box I've ever had on any of the cars here, but I can't, obviously it depends on the way a car is treated as well, so remember that. What do you drive yourself? A 1.6 Seat Leon from 2006, an ancient 11-year-old car, and it's deadly. That's my own car, like the ones outside the door. Hey Bob, I'm looking to upgrade from a 63 plate, I think you're in the UK, you're saying 63 plate, I never understand that, but anyway, 63 plate, that means early in the year, isn't it? Seat Leon FR, possibly looking for something, a step up in quality, but have a decent bit of poke. Any recommendations? If you like Seat Leons, you will probably like another Seat Leon, we'll go for a Cupra. If you're sick of Seat Leons, you've had it long enough and you're kind of sick of it at this stage, maybe step sideways into a Ford Focus ST, which would be a very good car to go to as well. You can get an ST in diesel if you really want to go diesel route. If you like petrol, stick there. If you can step up to the RS, is one of the best drives I've had this year, or a Golf R or a Golf GTI. There's plenty of stuff in the market to replace that ST, depending on whether you're sick of Seat Leons or not. Opinion on buying a used 2012 BMW 640 Grand Coupe. You'll never go wrong, JP. You'll never go wrong with a 640 Grand Coupe. I promise you'll always be happy looking at that outside the door. 2012 had that has the little fairy lights on the front, which I don't really like, in fairness. That has the little dot ones rather than the continuous LEDs. Interesting, cars in Queensland are taxed on cylinder count. Really? So if you got it like a V8, you have I don't know. Yeah, well, that's okay. Great loophole if you have a rotary. True, no cylinders in a rotary. Ford Focus RS or Type R. Brandon, that Ford Focus RS is better to drive than a Type R, but the Type R will probably be worth more when you're finished driving it. So remember that. Deadly means good in Ireland. Correct, Sean. Deadly. Hi Bob, do you think infotainment systems are too much of a driver distraction? Yes, they are, John, without a shadow of a doubt, particularly in the current crop of Volvo cars, where the massive iPad, and Teslas are responsible for this as well, this huge iPad thing in the centre with little tiny rectangular buttons to turn stuff on and off. That involves me looking at the screen, because there's no haptic feedback on those screens. You don't feel it when you touch the things. You always have to look and then touch. I give out stink about Peugeots recently as well. They moved the heating system into the touch screen, which made it nigh on impossible to use the thing. You had to flick in and out. Now I see other car manufacturers doing as well. Absolutely dreadful stuff. Car companies need to really assess how long people are looking at the screen to do stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with everything here. Millions of questions. My wife has a Nissan Note, great little car. That's not a bad car, actually, Nissan Note. It's really roomy inside. Fuel efficient, fun to drive, but has a problem that can't diagnose. While driving the car shuts off and restarts itself while in reverse mode. So are you saying, Jason, that when you go into reverse, that the car turns itself off? That would sound like a reverse switch problem to me, that the reversing switch has triggered something electronic in the engine which is shutting it down. You'd have to go to a garage to get it sorted, but I'm sure lads here will probably know as well. Particularly in reverse mode, that makes no sense. That's got to be a switch, so when you go into reverse, it's got to be doing something electronically to the car. In your opinion, what's the best family car to buy, as I have a little girl and I want to keep us all safe? All cars are safe to a certain standard, so 4 or 5 stars, you're okay. Little family cars, depending on the age of the child, if you're carrying prams and things, you're going to need a massive boot, right? Little babies come with a lot of stuff. They like you have to unpack and pack yourself up to go anywhere. If you've got bigger kids like my two, they get in the back of a VW up just as comfortably as anybody else. So it depends. Like safe family cars, just look at the NCAP rating. Don't go too tall. They're not. I don't think they're as comfy to drive. Maybe something saloony like an Audi A3 saloon or something. Any news when a Mazda 6 fourth generation will be out? I'd say it'll be out. Is that not due September, October this year or something like that? Any experience removing the DPF? I haven't removed one. They're all in different places, but I know they have to be removed every once in a while. You can. I know you can remove. Okay, so there's a thing about getting more horsepower from a car by removing the DPF and connecting up to two bits to the left. This is probably true. How much more horsepower? I don't know, to be honest with you. Anything that improves compression will give you more horsepower. What is your favourite car of all time? I don't know. I wouldn't be able to pick one. I'd love to buy a California. If I had enough money, I would buy a California and have that outside the door forever. Be happy enough for good. So there's my favourite car of all time. Ford Mondeo Vignale, good car for the money. Not really, Alan. It's the difference between a top spec Ford Mondeo and a Ford Mondeo Vignale. Really, the only difference you're going to see is the dashboard. That's it. You get a different texture on the dashboard. Pretty much everything else is the same in a Ford Mondeo. So you could save the cash and get a top spec Ford Mondeo or even a mid spec Ford Mondeo. It just won't have a Vignale badge. Paul Madden says, why are car designers designing for the American market? New Civic pitched at the American market ugly. Correct. It's not very pretty, is it? I haven't really seen it now in the metal, but it doesn't look very pretty, Paul. So you're absolutely right. It is a little bit, but then a lot of car companies want to go that universal thing, so it comes out for the whole world. So a Civic here is the same as a Civic in the US. That's probably what they're after as well. Why aren't infotainment systems voice controlled? They are, Sean Og, voice controlled, but voice control is absolutely obliteratingly stupid and cannot mostly control anything. I did a video on a Ford Mondeo where I asked it to put the temperature up and it changed the radio channel. So it is possible for it to do it. Which cargo van is your favourite? Cargo van. So you're talking about like a Caddy or Nissan or Volkswagen Caddy or something. Caddy would probably be the best one. Caddy takes modifications very nicely. You put alloys on a Caddy, it looks deadly. And a wrap as well. Really looks nice. So Volkswagen Caddy. I have a feeling there are too many gadgets in modern cars to help you drive the car, stay in the right lane and so on. Is the car companies overdoing it? Michael, see the thing is, car companies have to get deaths down, right? And I mean people getting killed by cars and in cars. Volvo recently said that by 2020 no one's ever going to die because of a Volvo or in a Volvo. Now, that being the case, humans can't be trusted because humans are lunatics. And at any given moment, you see, look at, you're on YouTube, right? Look at some of the stuff that's out there. People just suddenly turning right on the road or turning left on the road, no indication. So they have to take over some controls to get those points over. So it's a difficult one, but there are some good bits out there. I quite like the lane keeping and things. I don't really mind it. If you were buying a car from Stephen, if you're buying a car that's over 100 grand, would you pay a full price or finance it? 100 grand. Oh, do you know how much debt I could pay off at 100 grand? If I was buying a car that's over 100 grand, I would probably afford to pay cash, but you could finance 50 grand of it, pay 50 grand up front, finance the rest of the 50 grand. I suppose over the year you might get back out with it. It's very hard. A 100 grand car is never going to be worth 100 grand in 5 years, so it's going to be a difficult one. Manual or auto? 3 Series. Love driving in the engagement of manual. Find the autos boring. BMW have good recommendation for autos. Manual. The minute you reach 5 Series or Audi A6 or Mercedes E-Class, it has to be automatic. 3 Series is acceptable in manual if it's a petrol. If it's a diesel and you want to drive it every day, buy the auto. The current crop of flappy paddle boxes are amazing, and you can put an awful lot of power down the road very, very quickly, and you don't ever hit the rev limiter, so it's better all around, although it is slightly less economical. But definitely, rule of thumb, once you hit a 5 Series, Audi A6, E-Class, has to be auto from there on out, or you're going to lose money. If you buy a manual 5 Series or a manual E-Class or a manual Audi A6, you're going to regret that in 2 or 3 years' time. No one's going to want to buy it off you. What's your opinion on a Skoda Citigo Monte Carlo for over 18 years? Monte Carlo is a good spec. Skoda Citigo is one of my all-time favourite cars. I can't recommend them enough. They're absolutely brilliant little car. You have a choice of 3. Skoda Citigo, Seat Me, VW Up. But at the same time, I want you to go and have a look at Toyota's Aygo, Peugeot 106, and whoever made the third one of that, I can't remember. But particularly the Toyota Aygo, it's a really nice little car, really solid, and on like the same sort of a principle as the first car that you were talking about, which is Skoda Citigo. But Skoda Citigo Monte Carlo, if you can get it, you get a discount from the dealership, by the way. They'll have them there. Definitely do that one. We're going back a fair bit now. Cupra or GTI? I would go Cupra. More fun. Proper road noise of it, and really good crack. Skoda Kodiaq. What's your verdict? Is it a cheap Q6? I haven't spent time with a Kodiaq yet. I've been in it and I've poked around inside it. They're quite nice. You are buying into the Volkswagen Group stuff, so you're always going to see some of the same gear. The problem I have at the moment with Volkswagen is that they tend to put the same dashboard stuff in, so it's very hard to tell them apart at this stage. So it's kind of weird. But I can't really say whether I really like the Kodiaq until I've driven the Kodiaq for a few days. I have it in a couple of weeks' time. I don't know when. I forget now. It's in my calendar. Which car companies will not survive the next 10 years? Either Peugeot or Citroën. One or the other is going to get swallowed up. But the brand names are very important, boys. Like Saab's not even gone. It's still there. It's still for sale. Some Chinese company bought it recently. So even after all this time and there's been no Saabs manufactured, they still exist. So what's your qualification of not surviving the next 10 years? But French car companies are in trouble unless they radically change. Someone like Lada will always survive. Someone like Fiat will always survive because they'll just be bought out and because they're the sole thing in that country. But Peugeot, Citroën, they're the same group. They're in the same country. They compete against each other, but they're actually working together. They now own Opel, or they're on the way to buy an Opel. So there's a lot going on there. So I'd say they'd be the one that could be in trouble. Bloody hell. Do you like CSGO? Yeah, I do like CSGO. It's good crack, actually. Counter-Strike Go, that is, by the way. I guess I was freaking out there. Yeah, it is a pretty good game. People have criticised BMW manual transmission as being crap. In your experience, what's the last great manual gearbox BMW? There's a BMW box that they make right now, and they're selling it to other car companies, and Toyota are using it. I can't think what it's called. Z box or something it's called. That's a very good box. It's just that the old gearbox with the big gate in it was the problem. It was a big long gate back and forward. You used to throw the gear a long way. That sort of thing. That was a bit of a problem. Favourite car manufacturer right now? I like the latest Mazda. Mazda have no duffer in the lineup. So there's nothing bad in the lineup. But they've nothing really exceptional good in the lineup either. So there's nothing that really stands out for them as being a brilliant car. Apart from the MX-5, which is pretty good, but I mean the sales of that are dire. It's only a 2-seat roadster. Like, it's not going to be massive breaking the bank stuff. Okay. Favorite car manufacturer right now? I did that one. Sorry. What do you think of the new Alfa Romeo Giulia 1.4 petrol? The Giulietta, Colin, that's a different story. Check the seats in the Giulietta. If you're going to buy a Giulietta at any point, make sure you check the seating position. I always feel like I'm sitting on the seat rather than in the seat. You feel kind of perched on top of it somehow. I don't know how they managed to do that, but it works. But I have no problem recommending any Alfa Romeos or Fiats at the moment. So rare they break down anymore. Hi Bob, always use manual cars, but I would like to buy an auto car. Many friends recommend, but also some people say to keep far away. So there's two schools of thought. Autos used to be an awful nightmare of a thing because if they broke down, they couldn't even be towed. You could do nothing with them. Once you put them in park, they lock up all the wheels. It's a different story now. An auto these days is a much different kettle of fish. But the problem is they still, like, if a gearbox goes, it goes. There's nothing you can do about it, whether it be manual or auto. So I don't see any drawbacks for automatic boxes other than they use slightly more fuel than manuals. Will we need to convert our green fields to car parks for the amount of second-hand Hyundai Tucsons coming in the next few years? Will it kill a brand? Paul, that's a very good point. And I'll tell you why that's a really good point. If you remember back in the noughties, Fiat did an open book pricing, so they allowed the sale of the Fiat Punto in massive numbers in this country, and they flooded the market. Every second person out there was driving a Punto. The problem was, in 3 years' time, it nearly closed Fiat. The amount of second-hand Puntos that suddenly came flooding onto the market for everyone to buy devalued the whole system. This could happen again if Hyundai is not paying attention, or if Ford or whoever it is at the top that's selling a particular car over and over and over again. But it didn't happen to Qashqai, so I'm not too sure it's going to actually happen again. But at that time, when Fiat were doing that, like, everybody was driving it. Even my brother had a Punto. Everybody had a Punto. Best looking four-door family car in the last 20 years, and why do you think Alpha? Why is it? Why is it the Alpha 156? Yeah, Alpha 159 Sportback, I think, is probably one of the finest looking cars I've ever. I know it's a hatchback, but it's one of the finest looking cars I've ever seen. Absolutely. Woof. Yeah, there you go. I see the Spa Fun correct you there. 159. Alpha 159 is just a best looking car ever, especially when it's polished up and it's got those alloys and everything. It's just good. VW DSG a dream, yes, VW, but I tell you what, make sure it is actually DSG, because there is these different kinds of boxes they've got at the moment, the Volkswagen Group, and they're they don't say the words DSG on them, but they're talking about, the DSG box is very good. A lot of journalists out there are going, wow, this DSG box is brilliant, and it's not a DSG, it's CVT. CVT are more reliable than manuals. Yeah, well, it depends how many you sold. CVT is a constant variable transmission, it's called. And it's kind of an odd one, how it works. It's a bit like electric cars. There's no real gearbox that goes with it. It's kind of a strange thing. It just spins faster. What do you talk about the Range Rover Velar? Velar is that not like a cheap Range Rover? Should I say the word cheap for Range Rover? Sorry. A more affordable priced Range Rover Vogue is basically what a Velar is. Yeah, look, how many are they going to sell? Like, would you buy? I just buy a Range Rover Vogue. If you're going to buy a Range Rover, just man up and buy the Range Rover Vogue, right? Stop acting the hole. The only other reason you don't buy a Range Rover Vogue is because you need a Discovery. Simple as that. Thanks, Pad Connolly. Subscribe as well. Make sure you subscribe. Click that like button, which is on my screen, but it's probably down that way on your screen. Make sure you click the like button. And good God, there's a lot of you watching all of a sudden. 31 minutes in, we go for a record. MX, what was that about MX-5? I missed that. MX-5 Roadster, MX-5 RF. Just buy a Roadster, Lawrence. You will be happy forever. Actually, buy the Fiat 124. It's a prettier looking car. I think it's very much nicer to drive. The Spider one, really, really nice, and it is still an MX-5. Different engine though. Be careful. That 1.4 petrol, not 1.8. Alan Scott, is insurance too high for young drivers, and what do you think of the Opel Insignia Grand Sport? Haven't driven the Opel Insignia Grand Sport yet until the new one comes out. The insurance, insurance, man, you could do 4 or 5 quotes there online for the same insurance company, the same details, and get all different quotes. It seems ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Insurance companies are riding the Irish public at the moment, absolutely riding all the way through, and they used to do it back in the 80s. I remember it quite clearly. The only way to get a good quote in Ireland is sit down with a pen and paper, you write down all your details, and you pick up that phone and you start ringing them, and you stay on the line. You say, is that your best quote? Is that your best quote? Is that your best quote? And you go to another insurance company, you ask them, is that their best quote? And you make one fight against the other for your business. It's your money. Take responsibility for it. Get off the internet. Those automated machines will never give you the best quote. You will always get the best quote on the phone, I promise you. What was that? Just under a glass of water? What? Something behind me under a glass of water, is there? I didn't read the first part of that. Hello, Riot. Hi Bob. New Honda Civic out at the minute in 1.5 VTEC turbo. Have you seen or driven it? No, I haven't, and they keep only offering me the 1 litre. I don't know why. The 1 litre petrol thing is all Honda seem to have at the moment. Did you ever drive a Moscovich? I was actually in a Moscovich in the UK. A mate of mine picked me up one day. He's a car collector, and he picked me up in a Moscovich, and I was terrified for the rest of the journey. It was weird. I'm Japanese because I can't speak English well. Well done, right? Very good. Bob, your view on the BMW 520D against the Mercedes E220D, both with auto boxes? No. 520 is more of the driver's car. The E-Class is more of the kind of person who wants the presence, the big Mercedes badge. I'd probably go to buy a BMW 5 Series and veer off and buy the current E-Class at the last minute. I don't know why, it just happens every once in a while. What's the best crew cab, and have you driven a new Isuzu D-Max? No, I haven't driven Isuzu nothing in years. They used to be the most unreliable piece of crap ever. And I'm telling you that, go back a few years, Isuzu Troopers used to blow up. But I don't know what they're like now, I couldn't tell you as they go as it is now. BMW 520 new type, any tips on regarding these? I've heard there's a couple of variants, horsepower in the 2-litre diesel. There's the 530, 520, massive difference in power. I had both of those out on the track. There is a video from a few days back, last Monday I think, on my channel of me driving them around Mondello at full speed, standard road cars. Very sluggish, I thought, the 520, just lacks sort of torque and power and things. I prefer the kind of bigger 530. 2-litre diesel, always buy the higher horsepower of whatever it is. The more fun you get, more horsepower you have. Simple as that. Just back from Barcelona, diesel 108 per litre. Oh, Paul, don't break my heart on the price of diesel. Oh, we're getting that's another yoke we get rode on in this country. Same much, Paul. Why is there pad? Just when I thought we're getting a nice guy there, that's just always disappointing. Look, we're having the crack. Don't go off the rails. It's all about having the crack. If you get all weirded out and start making weird, stupid comments, you just get blocked and banned. Don't be a sad little internet weirdo. Just ask questions if you want. Be fine. Yeah, you see, Andy was taken to school in the 70s by a friend's dad in the Moscowitz. It's arrived, just about to ride. Fix My Eye in Tullamore. I haven't, Connor. I've never had any interaction with Fix My Eye, which, if anyone's freaking out, it's not Fix Your Eye, it's Fix My iPhone. There's a crowd in Tullamore. There's actually loads of crowds that do it. I've heard okay things about Fix My Eye, but, you know, if you're going to hand over, your iPhone, your 700 or 800 euro iPhone, to a random person with no qualifications from Apple to fix, then, you know, you got to take that with a little grain of salt every once in a while. There is an iStore, a Mac store in Belfast, is the nearest one, but you can actually take your iPhones to any CompuB stores, and they're official iPhone places, so they'll take it off you and they'll send it back to Apple and it'll be replaced or fixed and whatever, it'll send it back down to you. I've never used it, but I'm just saying that's what you should do. Don is from Portsmouth in the UK. Good man, Don. Bob, your opinions on a Jaguar XF and Jaguar XE for running costs and comfort and reliability. Hasn't Jaguar really kind of slightly, this is a hard thing to say, but the interior's gone more Lexus. So it's kind of gone down market ever such a small bit. But I do like them. Jaguars are really nice. Don't particularly like the F-Pace, I have to say. I wouldn't be a fan of that. I haven't driven it here in a big long time, but I wouldn't be too keen on that. But the Jaguar XF would be, no, XE would be the one I'd pick. Would be nice. Sorry. Let's get a drink of coffee there. I have to go back quite a long way. There's a lot of you watching this, guys. We're doing well. What cars are in the garage right now? A Seat Leon and whatever that Audi is. Audi A5. Your thoughts on a V10 M5? Oh, Stephen, yeah, I'd take one of those any day. Very subtle if you debadge them. Very nice, but they always give away by the 4 exhaust in the back. Cupcake Promise says that I'm a weirdo. I think he's talking to me, but that's okay, because I probably am. I want to go to America. Well, right, pick up your stuff, put it in a bag, ring up an airline, book a flight, and away you go. Done. Shout, we need a moderator for a while. Stuart, I'm okay with moderators, I'm fine. How do you think Brexit will affect the Irish economy? Brexit is going to be a complete and utter disaster, but it will recover. And I'll tell you why. I was talking to an economist the other day about this. So in the short term, we buy everything in from the UK. So we are UK's biggest customer by far in the world. You could combine everything they sell in Europe, and we are bigger than that on our own. But the reverse is also true. The UK is our biggest customer. They buy nearly everything we produce at some point or another. So in the short term, we're in trouble and they are in trouble because they'll have to buy in euro. In the long term, we'll find new customers. They may not. That could be a big problem for them as well as us. Where are you from? Ireland. Do you not hear the big Paddy accent? Good question, Anthony. Yeah, that's true. But Anthony, at the same time, with the breakfast thing, don't let it get you down. Continue plugging away at whatever it is you're plugging away. You don't need to hoard things. It's not going to be the end of the world. Don't mind any of that codology. Nothing like that is going to happen. You know, it's only money. It'll be fine. You'll figure it out. I didn't go to university, Stephen. Not one day in the place. Love your videos. Have been early days. I appreciate all your hard work. Thank you, Mr. I can't remember, Damdy with the British flag. Well done. Make sure you click the like button and subscribe button. Subscribe down there somewhere. You can also look, if you want to support the channel, you want to keep it independent here. I try to be independent. That means I get to sit here and say whatever I like about whatever car you want me to talk about. That's the difference between a channel that just does this for free cars or a channel that does this for, you know, international trips and things, and someone who actually wants to bring you reviews. I bring you reviews, right? You can do this on Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com /the next gear, you will find me there. You can actually send money by PayPal as well. BobFlav at thenextgear.com if you want to send money by PayPal. Loads of people have. It's been lovely. Thank you very much. Which car would you take on a road trip? Easy peasy, John. A Ford Mustang. The only one you need. Dodge Camaro? Maybe a Camaro? Something big, brash, American, V8, noisy, and just race from petrol station to petrol station across America if you want to do it that way. Brilliant. Stephen, that is your Wi-Fi, I think, because I'm on 20 meg up here, so there's tons of power from my end. No one else complained about it buffering, so Stephen, you need to sort out your buffer. Paddy Lawrence, hi Paddy, how are you? Hi Bob, this is from someone else. Hi Bob, latest Audi A4 is an S-Trim, worth the extra money. For looks wise, S-Trim is gorgeous, but I think S-Trim suits the A3 a little better than the A4. A4 is more of a mass-produced sort of sales rep feel, and the S3 is more of a personalised feel. There's not that much of a difference in size, believe it or not, interior. Yeah, it is. For visually, it's a beautiful looking thing, though. Are you excited about the future, says Mike. I am always excited, but the future is where all of our opportunities lie. Every single opportunity you can have in the world is always next. And if I'm at a point in my life, which I am right now, I'm finishing the job I am, I'm going to go back freelance, I'm not going to be full-time in Midlands 103 anymore as of next week. So from Monday to Friday next week I'm working, but from Friday on, that's the future. That's what's happening. It's all going to be boof, and off we go. My God, there's someone called Bob Flavin fan said, hi Bob. I have a fan. Have I got a fan club? I didn't know I had a fan club. If I didn't, look, if I have a fan club, I didn't know anything about it. You need to tell me about these things. Where are we? Right. Did I see something about a BMW pickup? That may have been an April Fool's joke there, Cormac. I don't think BMW is going to do a pickup. Not right now. They might do it. If there's a market for it, they will make it. Without a shadow of a doubt. They think they sell cars, they'll make the thing. In SF, California, but come to Dublin often. I'd love what you do. Thank you very much, Anthony. Make sure you subscribe and click the like button thing wherever it may be on your screen. It's down that way or up that way somewhere. Patreon link in every description. That's a good plan, Sean. I never thought of actually putting the Patreon thing in my description of this thing, but I'll do it later. I'm not worried about it. It's fine at the moment. VW Golf 1.4 TSI versus Skoda 1.4 TSI, both DSG. Whichever one you like the most, Stephen, because they're going to be very similar to drive. The Golf will drive a little better than the Skoda. The Skoda's ever so slightly more comfortable. But that'd be really the only difference. There might be some slight option differences, that's all. Do you have any other jobs outside of being a car journalist? I'm sort of freelance. I kind of do loads of different things. I make movies, commercial movies and ads and stuff for TV, and I make short movies and stuff. A lot of that doesn't really, pay is sporadic in it, so it's not really a full-time job. Usually, I also do digital management, so I give classes in education on safety online and digital safety and the future of digital stuff. So I do a lot of that, yeah. There's a bit of everything. I'm losing where I was now. Hold on. What time is it in Ireland? 2:47 p.m. on a Sunday. I still can't believe I have a fan club. Anyway, Paddy, you see, Paddy, this is what happens. You end up you get blocked. Don't be using words like that. You tick. You tick. I know nothing about fixing cars. Would be buying now for 159 be too risky regarding reliability. Depending on how any car has been treated, is how it's going to be in the future. You know, it's going to be good or it's going to be bad. If it's been treated badly, it's going to give you trouble. If it's been treated well, it's going to last forever. But look, everybody should know how to fix a car. You should. The stupidest thing in the world is always just to rely on bringing it to a dealership every single time to get something fixed. Like it was on a dash, bring it to a dealership. If you look after a car, my car's 11 years old. It starts on a button every single morning. It never gives any trouble at all. The only thing I've ever brought it to a garage for was recently brought it to a Toyota dealership here in the town, actually. Des Hughes Toyota dealership. And he replaced the back caliper on the back because I don't mess with brakes. Braking systems I won't touch on my own. Audi or BMW? That's a weird one. Some Audis are better than some BMWs and some BMWs are better than some Audis. They're kind of between the two. I like the look of the Audis much more than I can else. We need to set up a Bob Flavin Insta fan page. Good man, Stephen. You can if you wish. What do you make of the supermarkets, motor points, etc.? It is the supermarket cars are. So they go over to the UK or they go over to Germany or they go over wherever it is and they buy a truckload of the stuff and they bring it back over here and they take all the license plates off and they put them into a supermarket and we're all supposed to go, oh yeah, we trust you 100%, we'll buy all your cars. You know, you might as well buy them from the UK yourself if that's what you want. Any Tesla review coming up? Tesla have a dealership that are just building up in Dublin. I think it's just going to be a support dealership, I have a feeling. I don't think it's going to be an actual dealership. If Tesla come to Ireland the next time, they said that they'd get me to. They keep asking me to go over to the UK, but I just don't have time to go over to the UK at the moment. I support your channel. Thanks for the answer. No problem, Stephen. I answer everything I possibly can. I'm falling way behind today. So many of us have come. Click the like button. You can help keep this channel free. I'm only free. I'd never charge you for anything here, but you can help keep me independent from the car manufacturers by going to patreon.com/the next gear and you can submit money there, right? Further to the A4 S line trim Audi, some reason decided not to give LED lights with the S trim on the A4. Oh yeah, why didn't they put that in? Should be LED lights with all these things. I filmed all sorts of things. Fully Ferrari ads I made. Buffers. Tesla requests. Second, I'd love to see a decent reviews. I'd love to give them a review, but you know, they don't have any cars in this country. They don't really care about reviews at this stage because Elon Musk goes out and just goes, do you know what? I think I can save the world by building a city. And then everybody reports on that and everybody says the word Tesla again. And so they don't need reviews. They just don't need it. Are you going to be any digital class in the future? Yes. I don't know when the next one is on. So they're like, it's quite big events at this stage. People come and like we go into a big hall and I give a speech and what it's like to be in a digital conference future thing, what's happening next in digital and where it's going. And if there's a big enough request, if you get enough people, if you get 10 or 15 people together, and I'll come to you and give you a digital conference thing in your hometown. Simple as that. BobFlav@thenextgear.com. You can always email me. I answer as many questions as I possibly can. Hey Bob, love your peep show. Thanks. Would you ever own an EV? Yes, I'd love to have an electric car outside my door. Would be the next thing I'd be thinking about. If I was the only car I'd have at the moment in Ireland, if the only car I could have would be one car, I would have a hybrid. Because the infrastructure for ESB and Electric Ireland in this country is so stuttery. It's all over the place out there. Bought a new C-Class a month ago, suffering from jerky gear change. Dealer admits it's not right, but have no idea what to do. It's referred to Mercedes HQ. Should I reject it and how? That very much, I don't know about rejecting it. That sounds like a software issue. And I know it because dealers don't want to commit to anything, but it sounds to me like a software problem. Jerky during acceleration is probably not the physical gearbox. It probably is a software update that needs to be done. Depending on your relationship with the dealership and whether it was ones you know and people that you know in the dealership, at the moment you're covered by the Sale of Goods and Services Act, and you can return it within a certain length of time. So, but if you accept the repair on a new car, if someone says it's going to be repaired and you accept a repair, it's second hand and you can't turn it out. Hello, Aidan Walker. This usually doesn't end well when I shout somebody out, because what happens next is they start calling everybody names. Did you go to Geneva Motor Show as a work trip? No, not anymore. It used to be, Paul. Geneva Motor Show was brilliant. And the greatest part about Geneva Motor Show is you can get around it, because the hall is quite small. So you can kind of go around and do 2 or 3 laps while you're there in one day. And it's in the airport. So you get off in the airport and walk straight to the hall and come back again. The second problem is it's really expensive. Everything costs a fortune in Geneva, right? But it's worth it. It's worth a go if you've never been to a car show. It's worth tipping over to Geneva Motor Show because you can do it all in one day. If you're like me and jaded against the whole thing, you can sit at home in your underpants watching the live stream to come out of it, and you'll get just as much of a buzz from it as you would if you were there. Bob, support on Patreon and PayPal. Yeah, go on Patreon and PayPal. Patreon is patreon.com/the next gear. PayPal is bobflavin@thenextgear.com. Favorite holiday destination? Just I haven't been on holiday in years. Don't know. Silver's lovely. Portugal, Lisbon, and there's another place as well, North Spain, and I can't think what it's called now. Guggenheim Museum is there in the same city, and I can't even name the city. It's a gorgeous place though. I didn't go to Geneva, but it was the answer to that question. If it was for the rest of your life, soft top or hard top? Whoa, soft top. I'd go soft top. Yeah, if I had to pick one and nothing else. Station Road boy, this is good. Yeah, thank you. Oh, yeah, from Station Road in Killaretown. I certainly am, and proud of it. Do you enjoy Marmite? No, I don't think I've ever eaten Marmite. What do you put Marmite in? Can you make Marmite into soup or something? Some sort of drink thing? Do you have a thing with it? What's your name? Sarah, my name is in the title of this. Hi Bob, are you well? I am well, William, yes. Have they tried software update? No, John. Oh, they tried the software update. Well then, if they're referring it back to Mercedes HQ, they are in effect making the repairs. So they are taking you seriously and doing what they're supposed to do, which is what a dealership does. They're not fobbing you off and saying it's just your fault or whatever. They're saying that it is a fault and they're going to get it sorted. So, you know, maybe stick with the dealer, give the benefit of the doubt. If you still like the car, you still love the car. Often people fall out of love with a car when it starts to go wrong. That's kind of part of ownership of a car. So check it out. Do you ever fear saying something negative about a car and a car company then restricting your access to new cars? Yes. There is an element of this, so let's discuss that for a second. A lot of people on YouTube, particularly, but there are reviews in local papers and, and smaller outlets that aren't national outlets, and some of those reviews are, let's say, not positive, and they're not negative. They're this kind of in-betweeny look. You know, here is a car and it costs this much. That's not a review, that's just information, right? I could get that from a press release. So it's available in your dealership for the next 20 days and it's going to cost blah, right? That's just information. Opinionated means that if, supposing I was very negative about one particular car company and I looked for their cars and they said they weren't going to give them to me, the next thing I would do was come here on a live stream and go, you know what, I can't get cars from this car company because I was negative. Guess how bad their cars are. That's the last thing a car company wants to do when you have an audience the size of mine, or anyone's out there for that matter. So no, I look, it's not personal. If I don't like your car, it's not because I don't like you, it's because I don't like your car. I probably like one of the cars in your fleet somewhere, but I generally don't like you. So I don't really mind being very negative about somebody somewhere. You should have been on a new Top Gear. Thank you very much, Warwick. I'm not, but you know, if they want me on, I suppose they just phone me up and ask me. But they're working away there on their own. I'm not terribly impressed with the new Top Gear. It's all right. I'm not terribly impressed with the Grand Tour either. That's very childish, isn't it? Have you ever been to Goodwood Festival of Speed? I certainly have. It's one of my favourite things in the world to do is go to Goodwood Festival of Speed. Absolutely adored. The last one was with Ford, and we stayed in this cathedral thing or some sort of a school thing out the back of Goodwood. We went across country to get into Goodwood. It was brilliant. Yes, it is. Definitely, if you're coming from Australia to England and you're going to be there at the same time as Goodwood Festival of Speed, go. Do not miss it. Honestly, it's one of the best things ever. A little bit on the pricey side this year, though. It's coming. What does Peugeot gain from buying Opel? It seems there's a worldwide glut and it could be a mistake. True, Anthony. What they gain is access to Opel's technology, access to Opel plants and manufacturing worldwide, so they take over the whole thing. And they also access that market, the Opel market, the market that Peugeot can't be in, because people just won't buy a French car if they buy a German car. So that's what they're opening up for themselves. I'm sure they'll figure it out. They're not great at business, in fairness. Peugeot never has been. Why don't we have a car show in Ireland? They did exist. Yeah, we do get car shows from time to time, but they're generally overtaken by car companies and dealerships. So if they have, like, the Irish Times car show used to be here a few years ago, but it was basically all the stuff you could see in a dealership down the road. That's not what a car show is supposed to be for. We have plenty of classic car get-together shows on the weekends. There are plenty of them on at any point of the year. Definitely head along to some of them. You'll see better cars there than you would at any car show. Should you set up a P.O. box so your fans can send you mail? P.O. box? People send mail these days? Oh, you want me to send, like, unboxing things? Yeah, it's okay. Send me money. I'm more interested in money. Companies already send me free things that I open and give away to people. Gary Fleming, I hear you on Elon Musk thing, but thoughts on fully electrics, in particular the Tesla. Do you not think we will go fully electric in the next 5-10 years? Few petrol diesels will be. Electric cars will save. They won't be museum pieces for a good number of years yet. But electric cars and hybrid cars and that sort of thing will save the petrol and diesel cars from extinction. To some degree, just think back to the way horses were treated before cars were around. Horses would die in the street and be whipped to death generally. We're in that point now. We're in that point. Sean O'Neill points out that Marmite is not Bovril. Bovril is the drink and Marmite's the thing you spread on your toast or something, which is pretty good. Do you think Tesla will sell and work well in Ireland? Yes, it will sell without a doubt, but only to bring a Model 3, the reasonably priced one. The problem is, if I was a dealer in this country of any other car company than Tesla, and I knew that Tesla was open in the country, I would be very quickly looking at my feet and thinking, maybe I should get out of this car company thing. Because Tesla, when they come, they really do turn up and they start hurting you. Can you name some radio stations from Ireland? Like, I don't really listen to radio stations in Ireland. I work for one. Well, I'm finishing working for one, but I don't really listen to radio stations in Ireland. I do like Today FM. I love Dermot and Dave. I'm kind of biased. I know Dave. But I do like Dermot and Dave. It's a funny show in the morning. I like Marty on Lyric. He's deadly. He's really funny, like, at times. But generally I listen to BBC Six Music if I'm listening to radio, because I like the music end of stuff, and I'm really kind of an audiophile when it comes to music things. Or I listen to podcasts, which is my other pastime, which I quite love. Diesel or petrol car? Depending on your mileage, diesel is very, very good if you're blasting up and down motorways every day. If you're just tootling around the town, generally petrol is better. New Peugeot 3008 interior versus exterior. I've sat in. I haven't driven it yet, Paul. The old 3008 or 3008 or whatever way you pronounce it these days was very good. The most practical of all the Peugeots, and I do like it. But Peugeot have stepped up in the quality level of things, which means the price will also step up along with it. I don't remember, but I asked you about my wife's ML350. I do remember. That was last week, wasn't it, William Johnson? We got rid of GLC 350D. Prefer to be the ML. You can hold one top. If you get what? I prefer it to the ML. Oh yeah, a GL. So William asked me a couple of weeks ago about a replacement for the ML350, and he has replaced what I recommended, which was the GLC 350D. Well done. It's for posh people, I know. Why don't you apply to Top Gear? We'd love to see you there. Stephen, Top Gear, well, they're not taking applications for it. Well, I don't know if they are or not. It's morphed into something I don't really like anymore, so I'm not too sure I want to be involved in it. I'd love to pay, but it's kind of like Chris Harris at the moment. He's sort of sold out, didn't he? Kind of. You know, this platform right here made him, and then Piston Heads and all the rest of the stuff and all the other things he was involved in made him, and then he's just like Top Gear, and it's like, nope, it's all gone, channel closed, don't want to know about it anymore, it's all finished. If it's not Top Gear anymore, so it's kind of a difficult place to be. But I'd love to do something on TV, obviously. But getting cars on television in Ireland is just impossible. Do you like a bat tumbler? Do I like the bat tumbler? I've never driven a bat tumbler, but I do like the idea of a bat tumbler. Unboxing cash, exactly, Roman. You got that. Send me a box, and I open it. Inside there'll be cash, and I go woohoo, and we make some better movies. What are you reviewing the coming next? I think it's a Volvo XC60 is the next thing on the list. But once I'm finished in Midlands, I'll have more time to review more cars. So I might try and put 2 in a week or 3 in a week. Your Fixing Those Monday Blues video was a good video. Pricey? Fixing Those Monday Blues. No, that wasn't. I didn't pay for that. Why I go on about money and keep me independent is that, number one, I'd love to scale this up beyond where it is right now. So I'd like to do some drone shots and have things happening and, all that sort of stuff. Can you dab? Yeah. It'd be kind of cool to have the drone shots and stuff in it. And that involves having someone else. You need to have someone else who is there with you to film the cars and be around the edge. If you want that kind of content, it can't be free. You can't have an ad blocker, watch all the free content forever and go, well, it's not good enough anymore, you just can't watch it. But you're not paying for any of it, right? So to some degree, you have to push yourself a little bit forward and go, okay, I'm going to start supporting something like that. I like that. So if you go to patreon.com/the next gear and give me what you can, I can stay independent. I can continue to grow the channel beyond where it is right now. I can employ a camera person or an editor or get those kind of things going. And that's just it, simple as that. I'm sorry, Mr. Boss, but I can't. You're spamming. I can't see the thing. If you spam, I won't be able to keep up with a lot of stuff. Follow any YouTubers like Shmee 150 Supercars of London? Nah, not really. Someone who's able to go out and buy cars and then stick them up on YouTube for extra money. That's just no. I prefer to go from car to car. I remember you're a watch connoisseur. Did you upgrade your smartwatch or stick to the blunt watches? I currently have a GoPro on my hand right now, which is quite nice. I like my GoPros. I don't know. I haven't really upgraded any watches. I do like watches. I do like a lot of watches. If you're new, make sure you click the like button, wherever that may be on your screen, and click the subscribe button. Do you get to choose how long you keep the new cars? Do dealers provide the cars? No, dealers don't provide the cars. The car manufacturers provide the cars. So Audi Ireland has given me access to the Audi A5. I don't really deal with dealers out there. You keep a car up to a week, I suppose. Whatever. You can keep it. You can ask for longer. I generally don't. I try and get 2 or 3 if I can in a week. Not turned on yet in Ireland. How can you find out why? Hi Bob, CarNet. You had it on the Audi, but VW is selling it on their cars, but it doesn't work. Not turned on yet in Ireland. Can you find out why? It's not turned on, John, for a number of reasons. They have to set up an agreement, first of all, with a mobile phone company, because there's actually a SIM card has to go into the car. So it's not running off your phone, it's running off a SIM card that they install. That involves you speccing that as an option and signing up to a contract on data plans, right? And so when you sign up, it's for 3 years. But at the end of the 3 years, you have to renew that contract. Now, what if in 3 years' time, just supposing that they go with 3 as the company to give them the broadband, and in 3 years' time, 3 doesn't exist anymore? What happens to the contract that they honoured? They have to honour the contract with you. So there's problems with it. Audi seem to have just been a step ahead. That's what it comes down to. Do you feel the Volvo V40 is now getting on a bit? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Hasn't it aged badly, the V40? Weird. But yeah, we're considering alongside A3 Golf. A3 Saloon is one of my favourite cars to look at. Patreon support costs less than print, folks. Easily worth it for the content. Correct, Stuart. You can imagine, it sounds brilliant getting brand new cars outside the door every week. That sounds steady. And it is. Don't get me wrong. I love my job. It's brilliant. But can you imagine trying to make a video of that thing every week? I mean, every week. Whatever happens, you got to make a video. You got to be good. It's got to have reach. Like my reach is bigger than the Irish Times or the Independent or whatever. The physical papers. But you got to. It's creative content. So I write it. I perform in it. I film it. I edit it. I upload it. I run this channel. It's just me. There isn't anyone else. So if you want to support that, then go to patreon.com/the next gear. I was going to say the run gear, but that's another thing I do as well. The next gear, and you can submit whatever you can through Patreon, or just turn off your ad blockers on YouTube. Would be also a huge help if you turned off your ad blockers. What do you think about the E200 CTI W212 as a taxi? Currently drive a B7 Passat. Could get expensive on repairs, but they're very reliable. Just go over to Berlin and have a look at all those prosthetic limb beige cars that drive around the place. They're very, very reliable. But when they go wrong, they get expensive. Bob, with regard to a Golf Leon, do you prefer to drive a TDI or a TSI engine? I prefer a TSI engine, but I wouldn't buy a TDI engine for here as a car. I'd buy a 1.4 TSI. They're a nicer engine. It's quieter, it's nicer, but if your commute is quite large, then you're in trouble. That's Warwick has made a point there saying that all the VW Group cars are all just rebadged. Yes and no. There is an element of that in it. The problem would be they're all on the same chassis and they're all sharing the same engines. That's the biggest problem. Is you get out of one and get into the other, and you kind of go, well, what's the difference between the two of them? But if you bought an Audi A3 and then you jump into a Golf, you'll spot the difference pretty quick, alright. RS7 or Panamera? I'll take an RS7, please. Panamera, Porsches don't really excite me. Like 911s do, but Panameras and things, nah. What does cost less than print mean? So if you were to, like, if you bought a newspaper 2 or 3 times a week, you'd be spending €5 or €6 or €7, or even 10 or even €12 if you bought a paper every day. You're spending that to buy a newspaper every day. If you put a tenner into my channel, you'll see it back like that. Done. You can already see the results. You can already see 7 days a week of content is coming out already, and we're only like Patreon's like at 50 something quid. I don't know, Kate, why you're here, but I'm sure you'll figure it out as the life goes on. Chances are you're here because you're human and you're designed to procreate and live and die. That's what you're here for. Bye, Sam. See you later on. Your sound is falling apart, says John Wynn. I don't know if the sound is fine, says Sean. So there's 50-50 chance. Could be good, could be bad. Don't know which. I love that beige colour. My council, however, wouldn't allow a wrap on a car, so boring silver for me. Yeah, that prosthetic limb beige is just crazy. It's weird when you sit in Berlin outside the airport. It's just like hundreds of this beige car. Seat Exio rebadged A4 bad experiment surely. Seat Exio is based on the old A4, which is, when you close the doors, a lovely thud. It's a really nice car, but quite small back seat. Bob, do you not think that EV cars with everything electric is just way too many things to go wrong and more expensive to fix? EV cars have a lot less parts moving. Okay, so the normal wet bits go around, you know, the wheel hubs and, you know, suspension system. That's all the same normal stuff. But engine-wise, there's only one moving part in an electric engine. There's nothing else moves. It's the drive shaft. And that's it, really. So, no, there's less parts in an EV than there is anything else. We're losing Australia. See, I always try and hold this at 2 o'clock because Australia then have like 2 hours of it before it goes away, and America is just coming online, and Ireland and England is right in the middle of it. So it's deadly. What's the future for diesel engine cars? There is no future, Mike. We cannot continue making diesel. We could do it for trucks maybe, but we can't continue in the vein of diesel cars at the moment, the way we have it. The problem is the proportion of diesel cars on the roads. Currently in Ireland, the amount of diesels on the road is like 93 or 94% of all sales last year was diesel, right? So it just cannot continue like that. We'll have to shift back towards petrol, which is a slightly cleaner fuel in general, and electric, which is a much cleaner fuel. Don't mind any of them naysayers, climate change weirdos, or any of those freaks out there that go, oh, well, you know, we've just put the pressure back on the electric system. It makes no sense, okay? That's like saying if we go from stairs to escalators, that we're going to put the pressure back on the stairs. It makes no sense. It's stupid. Hey, Jamie Flanagan, how are you? The latest Leon FR 2-litre 150 brake horsepower is such an underrated car. It holds its value well. Yes, it's a very good car. Seat Leon FR is one of my favourites. I prefer the Cooper ever so slightly. I love to have Bluetooth in the... What's that? Q2 S320. Experience. I love to get my phone. Sounds play through. Yes, Gary. I was in Halfords the other day. Now, Halfords not a great because it's very expensive, but they had this replacement stereo which replaces any stereo. So any weird shapes, even like big, like my stereo on the Leon is a weird sort of huge square. But it replaces all of that, and that comes with Bluetooth streaming built into it. So you can buy it as an aftermarket system and put it into your car. Unfortunately, you're going to lose the look of the dashboard. All you might be able to get something to make it look nice. Don't use those crappy tape adapters; they don't work, and neither do those. You might be able to, sometimes on the back of old stereos there was an aux port, which means you could run a wired system for aux, and then you'd have it. It'd be in between the two. We're here for the crack, people. Do not go crazy and start saying all sorts of weird words. Just we're here for the crack, talk about cars, talk about any. You can ask me any question you want, whatever you want. If I can answer it, I'll answer it. It doesn't have to be about cars, about skateboards and things. Actually, skateboards. Speaking of which, do you like my skateboard? Penny board. Bought a couple of years ago. I still skate it every once in a while. It's quite cool, isn't it? Really sort of rainbowy colours, which I quite like. Bloody expensive though. Skateboards, penny boards. They ain't cheap, and the kids want to learn how to do it now. Regen says it does, certain does. Smart TV looks the business. Smart. A smart? Oh my god, Cormac, smart. No, yeah, it does. I like smart cars. They were always a little bit tinny on the inside, but they were okay. Do you think cruise control uses more fuel? Yes, it certainly does. Cruise control will do absolutely all it can to keep you at exactly the right speed, which means it's always using more fuel. If you take your foot off the accelerator, you will use less fuel. But it was not steering itself in the roundabouts. In that video I made the other day, I'm steering in the roundabouts, but it certainly did control the speed through the roundabouts. Do you have the government got any kind of EV plan? Not it, don't. The government don't do anything about it. You have to, don't wait for the government. Do not sit back and go, oh, it's somebody else's problem. Great phrase out there, be the change you want to see in the world. I don't know who said that, somebody else's quote, not mine. It's not going to make a difference if your EV will stop diesel cars go to the States. They have the 6.4 Cummins trucks. Yeah, I know. But like, there's a lot less trucks, diesel trucks on the road than there is diesel cars on the road. If you took all of the diesel cars off the road right now and left all the trucks alone, you'd probably have the amount of CO2 emissions straight away. Why 3 choices with the Hyundai Iconic hybrid plug-in or electric? That's called covering your bases, Paul. They're trying to make sure that they've got every possible option out there, because a lot of people won't go all electric. Plus the Iconic's a little bit weird looking, just a little bit, but it's also there just to give you a bit of everything. I'm surprised they didn't bring bloody diesel version of it. Tried the Oxport, no luck, but cheers to the Halfords. Yeah, check out Halfords. Definitely had a weird big square and odd shaped sort of frames and things around the edges of it. I think it was Clarion was the actual stereo that they were hawking, but you'll find it on Amazon. Look for there's a Mercedes fan club user base crowd in the UK. I can't remember what they're called, but they give good advice on replacing parts and things from old Mercedes. Sort of Bluetooth going. Yeah, so with the Bluetooth thing, I only saw it in Halfords, but I've seen all these odd shaped stereos. Your man was showing me that you can hook up your Bluetooth phone to it, because I was actually thinking about replacing the stereo in the Seat Leon, because there's no Bluetooth in the Seat Leon. We use little headphones, things, and we don't answer the phone normally anyway in the car, but it's there. CarNet, only the Pro has a SIM card. Normally, phone hopper. It's not that. Oh, right, okay. Skoda Yeti or Ford C-Max, built-in, quality-driven dynamics. I would go Skoda Yeti because it's one of my favourite cars, Skoda Yeti, over the Ford C-Max. But C-Max has good points as well. C-Max is favoured by people who have hip problems, because the seat is almost at the same height as you when you're getting in. So the C-Max is preferred by people who have problems with their hips. But I would prefer the Skoda Yeti because it's a big box, and if you're carrying dogs or things in the back, sort it. Would you ever choose a flying car? God, Mike, I cannot wait for flying cars. Can you imagine walking out the front door, press the button, the thing goes straight up, and then off she goes? Whoa, yeah, please. Opinion on used Seat Ateca 2-litre TDI automatic. There's a used one already? The thing is only out, JP. I only drove it the other week. Seat Ateca is one of the nicest Seats that have come out this year, but there is a little bit of a blend going on when you come to like the Volkswagen Tiguan and the Seat Ateca being basically almost identical. Seat has a little bit of a sharper look on the thing. I quite like it. Automatic box is going to be like the DSG. That's going to be fine. EV cars, if anything goes wrong, you can't fix it yourself apart from a light bulb. Is there anything you can fix today under the bonnet? Like I saw recently a car brand, I can't remember which brand it was now, but they had a car with a closed bonnet, so you couldn't get at anything under the bonnet. You weren't allowed to go near anything under the bonnet. Car manufacturers don't want you fiddling around under the bonnet anymore, right? So the idea of learning to fix and do stuff yourself is just getting rid of things as it is. I don't know why, just the way it is. That's the way they want it to be. I don't really lift the bonnet of a car. I often see on comments on videos where I'm after making a video, they go, "We shouldn't show the engine." The hell are you going to look at? A plastic thing that says Audi or says Volkswagen or something across it? Nah. Do you remember the Fiat Uno? I do remember the Fiat Uno. That was a crap car, but there's a very good video online of a fella getting out of a parking spot by just lifting it. It's very good. It is 316 in Ireland currently. You know, you can look. You're on the internet, right? You can just Google it if you want to find out what time it is here. William Johnson says the C-Max is the biggest pile of beep. Heard one in France a few years back. A hire car, you can't compare a hire car now to buying a brand new car. Hire car go through hell and back. There is no faster car on earth than a hire car. Routine Monday to Friday, 100 km/h trip commute. Sallins to Dublin. What's going to be cheapest daily drive for one person? Sallins. Let me think where Sallins is. Sallins to Dublin. Your big open roads till you reach Dublin, you're probably going to be looking at a petrol car. If you can buy a bigger engine petrol car, I'm not talking about a 1.4 here, maybe a 2 litre petrol or something, you'd get the same fuel economy as a 2 litre diesel, although you'd pay more for it at the fuel pumps. But you're in between the two there somewhere for the petrol and diesel thing. If your mileage is over 30,000 kilometres per year, you should be driving a diesel. If your mileage is under 30,000 kilometres a year, you're in the hybrid petrol point. And if it's less than 20,000, you should be an electric. You can't fix nothing on modern cars, Stuart. Even changing the bloody light bulb can be an awful pain in the hole. Just getting out of it. Even my own car, the battery's so tight behind the back of the light bulb thing, you break your hand trying to get in there every single time. And it's the air intake on the other side. Are German cars really the best? They are not the best. Some German cars are brilliant, some Japanese cars are brilliant, some Korean cars are brilliant, and some other brands are brilliant. But German cars just seems to be an awful lot of them. Just remember Billy Connolly telling his dad he got him prescription glasses on the windscreen. Yeah, I remember that. It was a prescription windscreen, which is brilliant. It's a story Billy Connolly does. It's really good. It is really good. So he says that he got a prescription windscreen. So the thing is there. My dad drives a Benz E350 and my mom drives a Benz C200. God, you have to get, something different. Want to not drive a Beamer or something? You could get a prescription windscreen in a 57 Maybach. Could you? Didn't know that. If anything goes wrong with my car, it goes to the garage or my dad. Why don't you figure it out yourself? You can't wait for someone else to do it. They won't always be there. And if you wait for someone else to do something for you, you'll never learn how to do it for yourself. You need to do things yourself. That's, so get at it. Did you work in car sales in the past? Briefly, I worked in a dealership as a sales guy. I hated it. You don't work in a dealership because you love cars. Put it this way: an awful lot of vets become vets because they love animals. Absolutely adore animals, so they become vets because of that. The majority of vets, actually, vet has the highest rate of suicide in the world. It's the same in car manufacturing, car dealership. You love cars, you become a journalist. If you love cars, you don't become a salesman of cars because all you think about is numbers. You just want to sell stuff. Gary Fleming, first time watching a live show, Bob. Top class, good man. Ad blocker disabled, thank you very much. And heading to Patreon. Brill. If you need someone with a phantom drone, give me a bell. Good man, Gary. Get in touch. bobflav@thenextgear.com. Send me an email. If you want to drop down, we'll do something with a drone so we can prove that we can do something with a drone. We'll fly it and record the car when it's driving and all sorts of stuff. That'd be really cool, I have to say. If you really want to, you can go to patreon.com/thenextgear and you can give money there as a donation. It keeps this channel completely independent and makes sure that I don't have to go looking to car manufacturers for money, which they do. I don't mean money for advertising. I'm not talking about money for reviews. I don't do sponsored reviews. I don't get paid. A lot of my competitors, I suppose, I won't say competitors, a lot of other guys on YouTube who are reviewing cars get paid to do it. They actually get money to do the review there. And some of that money comes from car manufacturers. Phaeton. Phaetons are a gorgeous car. Phaeton was one of the nicest cars I have ever driven. The thing could go 0 to 60 like a rocket. It could corner, it could do everything, but at the same time you could sit in the back and watch TV. It was an amazing car. Volkswagen outdid themselves and then they took it off the market because not going to get any sales here, but it started to get a bit crazy for them and it just got expensive. And Volkswagen just had no business. The VW badge on the front of a Phaeton didn't work, so they turned into an A8. That's what to do, Jamie. You're right. A vet becomes a vet because they love animals and then they just end up killing animals the whole time. That's most of their job, is to put pets down. And I'm talking about Super Vet on he's an Irish lad as well from Westmeath here. I think he's from Westmeath. I never met him, but he seems nice enough. Do you know if I need a SIM card or have any phone connected to the VW I have in order to use the CarNet features? Option with a Discover Pro 3-year contract of some sort. Adam, I'm unsure. I know in the Audi outside it comes with a SIM card built in. It's in the dashboard. It's under the bonnet or in the dashboard somewhere. I also know that Ford's system relies on your phone, on your car being connected to your phone, so it uses that. So between the two, I'm not too sure with Volkswagen. You have to check to make sure, but you know, I don't even, if you need it, if it's optioned, it'll be supplied already. So don't worry about it. Airtron is a new Phaeton. What's the new CC called? What did I see the other day about the CC coming out? Not called Airtron, though, is it? New Astra 1.4T Auto or Octavia 1.4 DSG Auto, which is better? Or any other suggestions, please? Craig Pointing. I quite like the new Astra. They still haven't got it right, though. There's still something wrong with that suspension. I just can't put my finger on it, what it is, how it kind of jerks along over speed bumps and things. It feels really weird. Octavia is far more comfy. If you can get the estate one in blue with 17-inch alloys, gorgeous. But DSG is also nicer than Opel's Auto Box. But it's what you look out the window and be happy with. I would be happy with the Skoda. It would just be my preference. But at the same time, the Astra's not wrong with the Astra. Why is my face all blown out on that side in the whites? Bloody white balance on the phone is useless. I used to own a Passat, wishing it was a Phaeton. Yeah, I know. True. Was there any Phaetons left on? Anyone in the audience drive a Phaeton? Have a look through there. 80 minutes, we're going well. Did you have a crush on Minnie Cooper? Was it the Wonder Years? She was a hottie. Minnie. What? The Wonder Years. Minnie in the Wonder Years. I didn't really watch the Wonder Years, I have to say. Phaeton is a steel second hand. Anything with a big engine, Stuart, is a steel second hand at the moment. VW Airton is the new CC. You see, there you go. Airtron. How do you pronounce that? Anyway, new CC. CC is one of the finest looking cars you could buy at the moment, and I know I must have sold because of the video I made with the massive attack at the beginning of it. I'm sure there was millions of those cars sold because I'm there. I'm a 40-year-old fella who wants to impress a 20-year-old hottie. What would I pick her up in? Just pull your wallet out. That'll do. You don't need a car. Go buy a Mustang or buy something something that's loud and brash and exciting. Women say that they hate those cars, but it's lies. Pure lies. The amount of people who came running up to me when I was driving that yellow Mustang, fabulous. Do you subscribe to any any mags with hot girls posing over cars? That is no, not at all. That is ridiculous. To even associate pretty women with an award ceremony or any of that sort of stuff where the woman hands out the look, it's just nothing to do with what the hell is that for? No, of course not. It's stupid. If you want to look at hot women, get a wife. That's how you work. Sorry, in the middle of blocking someone. Getting there. I'm trying to keep up with everybody. We're here for the crack, John, and everyone else. There's a Phaeton that's used mini cab. I see where I seen it. I just remember that Amsterdam airport. I seen a V10 or V whatever the big engine was in the airport as a taxi. What car do you like the best? I like my top cars still. Like if I was going to buy a car, there's a new car in my top 3 or 4 cars. So if I won the Euro Millions, this is a question you got to ask for yourself, right? So figure this one out. If you won 100 million on the Euro Millions, right? Now, this is not small money. This is big money, right? This is proper big money. But you've got a garage that can only hold 5 cars. What are those 5 cars? 5. That's it. 5 cars and only 5 cars. Your wife, your partner, your girlfriend, your husband, your mother, your uncle, your aunt says no more than 5 cars. You've only 1 arse, so you can only drive 5 cars. So I need 5 cars from you. What are they going to be? And I'll give you mine in like 3 or 4 minutes from now, right? You remember the Renault Espace? Renault Espace is gorgeous. I don't know why Renault got rid of it. It was a great car, really, really good car. Probably the best car they ever had, and they dumped it, and they never continued with it for some reason. We've got a 730D Bimmer as a taxi. That's why I need a Mercedes. All right. Oh, you got a BMW as a taxi. Well, that's got to be expensive, isn't it? Should we have a mandatory license retest every few years? Dangerous out there these days. We should be mandatory retested every 10 years, which is when you replace your license. So to get a new license every 10 years, you should have to take a a new test every single time. Can you do something about the buffering? No one else is complaining about buffering. So I don't think the buffering is coming from my end. It might be coming from your end. I'd buy a Giulia Quadrifoglio. Yes, I would too. I'm a 40-year-old fella who wants to... blah. Just weird people out there. You're so freaky. You are all very strange at times, but some of you out there need to get a life, lads. Jamie Flanagan has an answer. Here we go. Right, here's the Jamie Flanagan's first one in with her 5 cars. Here we go. A DeLorean. DeLorean? Anyway, yeah, okay, to look at maybe. Maserati Gran Turismo. Yeah, I agree with that one. TVR cigars. God, who remembers TVRs? They were such good cars. TVRs were just amazing. Like opening the door with the bloody wing mirror. Why even try? But it was brilliant. 69 Dodge Charger. Totally agree with you there on that one. And a Skoda Superb Combi 280 for everyday use. Would you not use a TVR for everyday use? I do ban them, Sean. You're dead on. Hey Bob, do you think we'll ever really get control over speeding in Ireland? Everyday driving, I see people speeding and overtaking stupidly. As long as, if you maintain yourself, Gollum, if you're driving on the road and you defend your area, don't get excited by anybody else. The amount of people I see who beat the horn and flash the lights and actually nothing much happened. You know, they just get very annoyed by their little bubble and anyone in it, and it freaks them out and they get all uptight and they start to freak out and then road rage happens. Don't. Relax. It's okay. If they speed and nothing happens, that's okay. If they speed and they get caught, you can always laugh at them up the road. If they speed and get killed, well, you know, that's just natural selection. There you go. We have a new Renault Space in Denmark, maybe not. Yeah, it's not just Ireland, I know, yeah. The Renault Space is there. It's just a shame they don't really push it because they could do it one at the moment. Hi, how do you think we should bring in speed monitoring due to finance? No, don't bring in, no, God no, don't bring in average speed cameras in Ireland. People can't work them out in the UK. They've got them everywhere, and I can't work out an average speed camera for the life of me. I'm driving along 60 miles an hour in a 60 mile an hour zone for 10 miles and I'm breaking the speed limit because my average speed is higher than 60. It's fucking ridiculous. And yet I see people going and then they'll be pulled over down the road. It's a waste of time. It's just money making. That's all it is. Are you fan of the, I don't know what that is, whatever that is, Iron Man Smash, I don't know what that is. Best car from my childhood, Audi 200 Turbo Quattro 87, had everything in it. Yeah, Audi used to make really good cars, and before that it was Auto Union used to make really good cars, which is the same thing. Remember the 407 Coupe? There's actually a person here in Port Leash drives a 407 Coupe and it's beautiful, beautiful. 27... Bob, give me your honest opinion. It's always honest here. Patreon.com/the next gear if you want to keep my honesty absolutely honest. 2011 Nissan Qashqai, as I have one. Honest opinion, Nissan Qashqai it's a little bland. It's very nice on the outside. It's a pleasant place to be on the inside, but it feels very Japanesey. If you've driven a European car before, like a Tiguan or something, you'll very quickly spot the difference between a Qashqai and that sort of car. There's some very easy to find plasticky bits around the outside, but overall it is a good car to drive and you will probably be very happy with it forever. Bob, Iron Man Smash. Okay, he is blocked. Done. 407 Coupe. 5 2CVs. Don't hate me, just like them. Oh my god, why would you have 5 2CVs? One. You could have one. As long as you don't drive it every day, it'd be fine. But yeah, I love the 2CV. It's really nice. He's banned, Liam. Thanks very much. Will there be a movement towards smaller cars? There should be a movement towards smaller cars. We don't need such big cars at the moment. Cars, if you take, and I'm going to leave Mini out of this, right? Because Mini of the 60s and Minis of today is a very different company. But if you take something like a Ford Escort from the 80s and put it beside a Ford Focus from now, the Focus is a giant standing beside the thing, and yet we all fit it into a Ford Escort. So cars are a little bit too big, but that's all down to safety. It's all down to the bigger the car, the further are you away from the smash. C4 Cactus. I like C4 Cactus, yes. Don't like the gearbox. Gearbox was crap because there's two kinds of gearbox. There's a 5-speed gearbox, which is the French one, which feels like stirring coal in a coal scuttle. You know, you kind of, somewhere there's a gear. And then there's another one, which is a 6-speed box from BMW, I think, make it, or maybe Jaguar make it, I'm not too sure. One of those two make that other gearbox, and it's a nice, snappy little gearbox, and their auto box is crap. You get seasick driving in some of those auto boxes. How do you stop fraudulent insurance claims? You don't, Alan Scott. Alan Scott, here's the thing about fraudulent insurance claims. They happen a lot less than you imagine. All they want you to do is start reporting it so they can make more profits. It's the insurance company's job to stop fraudulent insurance claims, not yours. I grew up in a time where you didn't tell on someone around you. You didn't run around going, oh, that guy's claiming off my insurance. He's not claiming off your insurance. He's not doing that. Silly. Don't be silly. Let the insurance company. We should be driving our insurance companies down. Our government should be taking our side. There is no competition in this country at the moment for insurance prices. It's just all seem to arbitrarily pull a number out of their arse, and that's the quote. It's absolutely horrendously. We are bringing road in this country with insurance. I didn't see that, Derek. No, the RT after the crash, I did not. I missed that. No. Do you know some JDM cars or four-door saloons yet pillarless, no pillar in the middle? No, I didn't know that. I don't know what that means either. Just wondering, if you do give money on Patreon, do you get a Skype conversation with you? I remember you had said a few weeks ago. Yes, you certainly do. You can have a one-to-one conversation with me, but it has to be like €10 a month for the one-to-one conversation, because I won't know what to say to you if you're just on your own, right? A conversation, like, this is not a conversation. This is like you ask me questions, I answer stuff. So if you want to do that, I can. But I would be forever in your debt. My 5 are Range Rover. Okay, another 5. William Johnson's got 5 here. A lot of talk into these 5 things. Range Rover, like a Range Rover Vogue, I take it. Aston Martin Vanquish. Don't know if I go for the Vanquish. Jaguar E-Type, yes, maybe. Great noise of an E-Type. VW Golf GTI, yeah, that's a good one. And Alpha Quadra, that thing. That's a good 5. In fairness, that is a really good 5. I like that. I think exactly the same. Underpowered. Something's underpowered. Tiptronic box, new Audi A5 worse than the S-Tronic. Both have benefits, both have drawbacks. So the DSG, the Tiptronic things, the ones that go through the gears, they're really good, really smooth, and really responsive. The other gearboxes that Audi do are lighter, and so they can put them into other cars, which makes it a little bit different as well. Now, see, Alice in Wonderland, this is how you get banned. You can take part in the conversation you want. It's fine. It's okay to ask questions. I am literally sitting here listening to you and asking questions. 90 minutes. We're doing good. And there's 74 of you watching. 58, click the up button there. The thumbs up yoke. Make sure you subscribe, right? Because the problem is people don't subscribe to these things. And subscribers are falling, and I don't understand why. My Qashqai is too underpowered. Most cars are too underpowered. It is absolutely down to the reason why they're underpowered. It is down to fuel economy, and of course, you have to take in the CO2 emissions. So that's usually why they're underpowered. Lads. I need a moderator. There's just so many messages popping on the screen. Are public transport and personal transport in competition? Yes, that's a good question. Currently, at the moment, in Ireland, there is a major problem in that our bus companies are going on strike because there's not enough work and they're going to go broke, and there's not enough people using public transport, and that is a massive, massive problem at the moment in Ireland. I'm deleting them as fast as they're coming up there, but people are just getting blocked and banned. Nothing I can do about it. We need a moderator. Where's our moderator from Holland that was on last week? Private bus companies share the road with the public bus companies in Ireland. That is causing problems at the moment, in that, like, if I wanted to get a bus from here, Portlaoise, to go to Dublin, to the airport, I could get a green bus. Is it a green bus? I think it's like $7.50 or something like that. Sorry, I'm just going to plug in some power there. Or I could get the Bus Éireann bus, which is more like 20 quid. So, like, it's crazy difference in price, I come from Thai. Come on. Stop spamming. Yep. Stop spamming. Yeah, I know, but look, some people on the internet have nothing better to do with time. Some people are just kids, and they think they're going to get their name out there by, spamming a channel where there's so many people watching on at once. It's very annoying. It's very upsetting for some people as well. But that's just the way people are. It's a bit like Kevin Smith there, who's just a dick, right? People just like that. Every once in a while, people just pop up. I don't know why. What did it do? I don't know what you get out of that sort of thing. Interact, you need to get out and talk to people in real life. And this is how I'm able to sit in front of a camera for 2 hours and not take a single break and can answer all your questions and multitask and do stuff. It's because I'm mature, and I've been out, and I remember mobile phones being invented. I remember the internet being invented. I remember the first time I ever bought a mobile phone. I remember the very first time I ever heard somebody talking on a mobile phone, not connected to a wall or not. It was like magic. And now it's like, I can have a 2 hour conversation sitting here with you guys. But the difficult part is that there's a group young people out there who never have been outside the door talking to people. Hi, Aaron. How are you? They've never been outside the door to talk to real individuals, and that is an absolute tragedy out there. We are getting fat little kids now, and they can't run. We're down the swimming pool this morning, my 2 kids swimming around the place. You kind of go, God, some of these kids down here just have no life at all. You need to get out and get exercise. You have to balance things out, Anyway, John Wynn, 2-wheel drive, 150 brake horsepower Tiguan is a bit overpowered. Go hard in the pedal and the wheels slip every time. You know what? That happens at Audi as well. Go hard at all in the pedals and you just go blah, 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 and away she goes. But that's, I can't really complain too much because I'm usually complaining about not having enough power. Power! Favourite Jeep, Bob? Larger type, like Land Cruiser, not the school run type kiddie Kodiak. Proper Jeeps. Proper Jeep, go look at Jeep themselves. They make, what's the big Jeep they make? The biggest one. It's one of my all-time favourite cars. Now, I have to admit, I am a little bit into Americana, right? That's a problem. But I can live with that. Besides the Americana part, Jeep make really good Jeeps. So just remember that one. Sorry, a huge big spam thing to pop up on the screen. I missed everything there. I run an RX-8 as my toy motor. As your toy motor? You mean like a weekend thing? Cool, RX-8. Bob, keeps this clean for us. Let's keep it clean for Bob. See that they're really interested in our suggestions. Yes, please. Yeah, keep it clean. It's easier to monitor if nobody swears and stuff because it's so hard to keep up with. Don't forget, it's just me doing this. There's no one else does anything on this channel other than me. 911 Targa. Oh, all right, another top 5 here from Paul. 911 Targa. Ferrari 308, early 80s. Is that like Ferrari 308? I can't remember what that looks like. That looks like Tom Selleck's car from Magnum or something, one of them. Audi 80 GL, very good. Ferrari LaFerrari, I don't like those kind of modern Ferraris where they choose you to be a customer. And a Fisher Karma, that's a good suggestion. Fisher Karma, I haven't seen a Fisker thing come up on the screen here in ages. Are the new car tax rules apply in Northern Ireland? What do you think of them? What new car tax rules in Northern Ireland? Don't they just have normal tax like everybody else? Not like us idiots down here who pay on CO2. Good. Coffee's quite good, yeah, it is. Official colour for German taxis is RAL 1015 Bright Ivory. Is it Bright Ivory? I didn't know that. Used to be a compulsory colour for taxis, southern state of Baden-Württemberg. It was first removed. The law starting taxis had to be this colour. Very good. Are you going to do a tyre review? I'm still trying to find an independent person to do tyre reviews. I've had every tyre company come at me and suggest themselves to come and do it, which I might have to go down that route, but I might have to ask some particular questions. Grand Cherokee, there we go. Jeep Grand Cherokee, for Footy Ferrari, I put the answer best one there. Here's an alternative top 5. So this is your top 10 then, Gary, yeah, right. 1970s Mini, now there, I'd go with that. See that there? I'd love a little Mini. A little Mini, brilliant. A Fiat Ritmo. I haven't seen a Ritmo. Are there any of them left? Would you even find one these days? A Volvo 440. Yeah, that's a good one. 1990s BMW 318 and a 98 E-Class. Bangernomics. I like it. Yes, good. Test. Typing the word test up on the screen is going to get you banned. That'll be a banning. I need one of those little meme things done. That'll be a battering. What a Ritmo. What a car. Ritmo's a great car. Weird, but great. Yeah, we're doing a 5-car garage for anyone who's just joined us last few minutes. I want your top 5 cars for 100 million. You can only have 5. You have to have the 5 in the garage. You're banned from buying any more than that. But you have 100 million to spend. So you're Euromillions money here to buy whatever you want. Triumph Stag, good God, what a car. That was the most amazing looking car ever. And if you buy it with, I think it's a V8 3-point-something litre petrol engine, it's invincible and the thing will be brilliant, but you will go backwards through a hedge without a shadow of a doubt. Such a fabulous car. Rubbish suspension, fabulous car. Does changing the engine and gearbox really invalidate warranty or any advice? Yes, it does. If you change anything on a car, it invalidates the warranty usually. Just a big Fiat. Yeah, but the Jeep Grand Cherokee is such a gorgeous car. If you buy that big old diesel engine, it's just a nice thing. Just a really nice, pleasant, massive lump of machine. Gory, I can't pronounce your name, but you give me top 5. Here we go. 88 BMW 324i Saloon as a classic. A 02 Fiat Punto HGT for a project car. I like it. Punto Sporting is a great car, actually. A Nissan Leaf daily driver, yeah, okay. A Volvo V90 XC. That's like the big, boxy, massive square things. You put a hearse, it looks like a big hearse. Great car, though. And a Fiat Panda 4x4 for the off-road fun. I like a Fiat Panda. There's a 100 horsepower Fiat Panda you were able to get years ago. It's really good. Here's a part 2, different version. Skoda Superb LNK 2 litre 190 bhp. You can be more inventive than that. 100 million. You're going to buy a Skoda Superb. I know it's 55 grand, but it's Skoda Superb all the same. I find the DSG a bit sluggish, fuel economy, not good as 1.2. Yep, bang on. Okay, so CO2, the problem, Sean, just so everyone know, right? So Ireland taxes 2 ways. So any cars pre-2008 is taxed by CC, by the size of its engine. So 1.6 litre petrol is over 500 quid a year to tax. Anything post-2008 is taxed on its CO2. So a car that could be a 3 litre engine might be only €100 a year to tax. The problem was it needs to be backdated. So all cars need to be in the CO2 band, or all cars need to be CC based. There is no in between. There shouldn't be an in between version of those two things. It should be all or nothing. It's a bit like the racism problem we've got at the moment. This idea that you can only say certain words to certain people, and you can only certain people can say certain words. That's stupid. It's either all or nothing. You can either all call everybody the N word, or none of us can. That's just the way it is, including themselves. As the same for any word. Don't get me wrong, I'm not picking on particular words. Any word has to be like that. As the same for CO2 and tax and whatever else as well. It has to be all cars or no cars. Happy emotive future for Japanese cars. Yeah, well, Japanese people are, look, they sell cars pretty weirdly in Japan. How they sell them and what they sell. Have you seen the fleet of cars they have? They see those little micro cars. They're tiny. 1969 Chevrolet Camaro Z28 is a good car. It is. Anything from, we say mid to late 60s in America was fantastic. Slow, but fantastic. Noisy, but slow. Top 5 from someone else here. Here we go. Aston Martin DB5 V8. Yes, DB5. Don't know if I agree on a DB5 one. Lamborghini Miura. Yeah, but a real one. Mini Cooper. Yeah, that's good. VW Mark 1 GTI Golf. Ferrari 330 P3. Yeah, I like that. That's an even list. I like that. I would probably go with Aston Martin DB9 rather than DB5. I know it's a classic one. It's the James Bond one, DB5, but don't know. If you ask questions like that, you're in a band. I love the band button. It's deadly. This is deadly. To do a live stream, I think anybody can do live streams these days, but it used to be you had to have over 10,000 subscribers. So subscribe, for God's sake, and click the like button. What's that one now? E39 M5, a Cayman this is another top 5 by the way. A Cayman GT4, a 60s Ferrari 250 California. Now that's a car, or now you're talking 250 California. Gorgeous. Mercedes Gullwing, overhyped, but gorgeous, worth over £1 million anyways. And a new 540i. Gotta have something sensible. Now, with 100 million, you don't have to have anything sensible. Trust me. 100 million, you can do whatever you want. This fan channel, subscribe. My God, I have a fan channel. This is crazy. I actually do. Someone's after creating a fan channel for me, Bob Flavin fan, which is deadly. Thank you very much. You're very kind. Thank you. You can subscribe to that channel. It's nothing to do with me. I don't know what the content's going to be there. I didn't make it, so it's just a fan channel. How do you motivate yourself to go running and keep fit because you eat healthy? I don't always eat healthy. For instance, last night I had a bottle of wine last night, which is totally unhealthy, completely empty calories. So I don't eat healthy, really. We eat at home a lot, which reminds me I actually have to start having roast chicken today. So I have to start cooking. But we eat mostly at home here. We don't really eat takeaways. We don't really eat McDonald's or Burger King's or any of those kind of highly processed, cardboard-based food, which doesn't really have any good nutritional value. the way to motivate yourself to go running is start. The hardest step to take to go out and get fit is to just take the step outside the front door. That's the hard part. It's coming home from the evening and having to go upstairs and put on the shorts, put on the top, and get the stuff together and go out the front door. That's the hard part. Once you start, you become addicted. 100% addicted to it. Sorry, the sun is shining right down top of my face now. I can't see a damn thing. But definitely, if you want to get fit and you want to do something, you just gotta do it. Don't plan it. Don't sit down making a 6-month, 12-month plan. I'm going to plan to lose 2 pounds in the next. Don't do any of that. Nothing. If you have a pair of runners and a tracksuit, pair of shorts, try getting a proper, not cotton. That's a cotton top, right? Don't get cotton. I don't have another top around I can show you. Actually, I do. Hold on a second. Okay. Sorry. Rude interruption because I'm on to running tops, right? So here's a Carrymore top, right? See that one there? So this has got little, I don't know if it's going to focus on, but it's got little microfiber things in it, little small things, little holes that allow air through. I see so many, particularly women, but I see a lot of runners out and they're wearing hats and gloves and scarves and things and zipped up and all that sort of stuff. No, you don't need any of that. I wear a pair of shorts, one of these little light tops. I'll wear 2 of these little light tops if it's a really cold day. But, just get out, start running. Run as far as you can, as slow as you can. Go every day, go twice a week, go 3 times a week. Don't look at websites, don't take advice, don't go off and start rolling around going, I should run sprints for 100 metres and then run 3 miles. No, just go out and do it. Start. You can worry about doing the rest later on. Okay, so we'll go back to our questions here. I hope that motivates you, Tobias. I hope that motivates you into getting out and running. Don't hesitate. Start now. You will not regret it. I guarantee you. You never regret a run. Cormac Cassidy, Citroen DS. That's a really good choice. The original Citroen DS, it came with cornering headlamps and hydraulic suspension. Amazing car. BMW 2002. That's a really good car as well. This is a serious list here from Cormac Cassidy. Really serious. BMW i3, yep, I agree with you on that one. As long as it has a little motorbike engine to boot. And a VW camper split screen. Yes. You know what I met? I met a guy the other day who had a VW camper split screen. A proper camper van. But he had taken a VW Jetta diesel engine and put it into the boot of it. Brilliant idea. Opinion on Nissan Skyline. They should hurry up and bring it back. That's really what Nissan need to do, is bring back some of them fast cars. Where's the BMW 370Z gone? That seems to have died a death here now for some reason. And I drove as one of my first press cars was a BMW 370Z. 5 unhinged cars from Jamie Flanagan. He's got a second choice. Good man. A Tatra 603. I don't know what that is. A Subaru SVX. That's a good car, yeah. A 71 Buick Riviera. Good choice. Tucker Torpedo. That's a really. And a Jensen Interceptor Mark III. You need to change the engine in a Jensen because it won't go 100 meters without blowing up. With 100 million, you can have a new top 5 garage every month for 5 years. Yes, but you can only choose 5 total in the story. For the next million years, you're stuck with them 5 cars. Aaron says, if you could own any car that you used to own in the past, what would you pick? None of them. They're all shit. Every one of them. I wouldn't want to own one of them. Actually, I'd love to still have my first car, which was a Datsun Nissan Cherry. It was a Nissan Cherry, but it was a Datsun Nissan Cherry. It was the point where Nissan was buying out Datsun. And so both brand names were on the back of it, which is kind of funny. It was a 1.6 litre petrol, but was actually taxed as a 1.3 because somebody swapped the engine out and never said. So I'd love to. It was canary yellow, bright, horrid yellow thing, and a holding exhaust sounded like a rally car. It was a great car though. You'll have to send the fan club a picture of you in shorts. Yeah, I know. If you check out the Run Gear, the rungear.com and the Run Gear on here on YouTube, you can actually see me running in shorts in that. I make videos about running as well. Okay, here's a good advice here coming about healthy diet. Remember, people, a healthy diet includes at least half a kilo of fruits, berries and vegetables every day. If you could have a second home anywhere in the world, where would it be? I'll come back to that in a second, Mike. You're right about the healthy diet. A healthy diet should primarily be vegetables. And I in the last little while, have started doing vegetarian days. And we try and avoid as much red meat as we possibly can. We had burgers for dinner here yesterday. We made them ourselves, our own homemade burgers. Buy very high quality meat whenever you possibly can. Meat should be a treat. It shouldn't be all the time. We have meat, as Irish people have meat like 3 times a day. What the hell is that about? Like, we have it for breakfast, we have it for lunch, we have it for dinner. It's too much meat. So you kind of got rid of that. Oh man, we got our moderator. Woohoo! Yay! Moderator's appeared. If you could have a second home anywhere in the world, where would it be? Florence, Italy. Absolutely adore the place. Absolutely gorgeous. Holding my phone in my hand. I don't record on a phone. I record on a little camera, which I don't know where that is at the moment. It's around here somewhere. It's a little camera thing, and I put it on a little mount, and it sits on windscreen, or on the side window, so it kind of protrudes out and points towards me. So you can actually see, I think you can see it in the M2 video around Mondello, where I'm driving at very, very high speed, and I'm not holding the phone. So I don't actually hold the phone when I'm driving, and it's always recorded on a camera, which, as far as I'm aware, is not illegal. But as long as you're not doing anything really stupid, the guards aren't interested in you. You know, if you're weaving around a road while you're holding a phone trying to send the text messages, then you're doing something really stupid and you should be jailed. But you know, if you're driving on the road and you're just filming something, it doesn't really matter. Okay, here's a new top 5 from John Wynn. Pardon me. Jaguar E-Type 2.4, 2 litre, yeah. Good car. Mercedes G63 AMG Black. G63. Okay, Jaguar Mark II. Yeah, Bugatti Chiron. I wouldn't be bothered with the Bugatti thing. Volvo P1800. Yes, that is a good car. I like them. Yes, how much meat would you eat if you had to chase down with a pointy stick? That's the thing about meat. Meat used to be a supplement in our diet. We used to hunter-gatherers. Our digestive system is still the same as it was 10,000 years ago, right? We used to eat bugs, protein from bugs and vegetables and nuts and seeds and all that sort of stuff. And once in a while, we would catch an animal to eat it. But it wasn't the primary part of it. Now we make the animals, millions of them, and try and get them down our throats as fast as we can. All right, no problem. Yeah, okay. Well, maybe I might have been holding in the sunglasses, but I don't think so though. No, I don't never really record. If I'm talking for a while to the camera, I put it on the little mount thing. Hola. Someone asked me to say hello in Spanish, and you're probably going to end up banned if you say anything stupid out there. Because usually when someone asks me to say hello to them or give them a shout out, the next words out of their mouth has to do with rape. I don't know why. People are weird like that. We are going now for 111 minutes. I think that might be a record. Sure. What hours? 2. Nearly 2. I started at 2, 3, 4. It's 5 to 4 now. It's nearly 2 hours. I don't think that's a record though. I think I did one for 2.5 hours last time. Is that all the questions? Are you all finished now? It's a bit empty. There's 60 people viewing it. Still 60, 58. It's 74 thumbs up, so we're doing well. Top 5, stripped out Fiat Uno, 45 brake horsepower. You won't progress in either car because that will kill you. That's true. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, all it needs is a stripped out Fiat Uno. It would fall over on its side, in fairness. A fast Uno would just fall over. Definitely. Suspension was absolutely rubbish in them. Is there going to be an RHD Ampera? I drove the Ampera in Germany. Opel launched it, and it was really good. But it was only 4 seats, and it was really expensive. It was like 50-something grand for this 4-seat Ampera. But the idea was brilliant, to have a generator and electric and a petrol engine that could cut in and do its thing. And briefly, I drove down the Autobahn in an Ampera, and I reckon, hold the record. Because I was supposed to do an economy run. And briefly, I was the fastest moving electric car in history. I had to be. God damn it, I went down fast on the Autobahn. I didn't win the fuel economy run, but it was a great old journey. Enjoyed that. And I keep going another 5 minutes. I got 5 minutes left. I'm going to keep going 2 hours. Whoa, reverse. Have you ever watched Autofugal reviews? I have, but I don't understand a word they're saying because I don't speak German. But the reviews seem very good from what I've seen so far. Here's another top 5 coming in. It would be Honda S2. That's an S2000, not S200. But yes, S2000, very good. Ooh, it must be a Honda. Honda Integra as well. I quite like Honda Integra. There's an older one that covers around here in Portuguese. It's very, very nice. Nissan GTR. Yeah, I don't like GTR. It's like driving a PlayStation. I don't know why. Honda NSX, you do like Hondas, don't you? New one. And for a cruiser, a Lexus GS. Yeah, Lexus aren't bad. We are into the diesels, all right. Lexus doesn't really suit Ireland. We love the diesels. Yes, they'll come into their own. Unfortunately, Lexus always try and follow what the European car manufacturers do instead of doing their own thing. David Flannery asked, what's your thoughts on PCP, yay or nay? I am in favour of PCP over hire purchase. So it's a better deal for you as a consumer than hire purchase ever was, right? Hire purchase is always weighted in favour of the car company or in favour of the finance company generally. PCP is a better option, but PCP only works if you can afford it, right? If you have to go down the PCP route, it means you can't afford the car. So why are you going down the PCP route? Most people who qualify for PCP can easily afford to buy the car for cash. So just bear it in mind. I'm a fan, but I don't know if it's a good idea for everybody. Nothing is ever a good idea. You should always pay as much of your own money up front for a car as you can. I have a very strong bladder, Adam. That would explain that one. I was out swimming this morning and went for a run as well, so I'm probably a little bit dehydrated. So that's why I haven't gone for a wee lately. What car are you really looking forward to driving in the near future? Whatever's the next thing on the press plate. That's all I ever think about. I don't worry about the rest of stuff that's coming on the road. When it gets here, and that's when it becomes a reality car. There's an awful lot of cars out there that the car manufacturers put out, and they make sure that they show the car in the best light, and they release all the teaser trailers and all that sort of stuff first. The problem is that most of those cars don't ever make it to Irish shores, so you get excited all you want, you're never going to drive it. What would I like to do with this channel in the future? I'd like to do a little bit of gaming on the channel. Play video games and show that off, but I need a bigger computer to do that, so I need about €1,000 there to buy a computer for a start. I also need to upgrade some of the camera equipment. Some of it's getting a bit old down to stage, but it still works fine, but I like to upgrade it with some new stuff. Where I really wanted to go is to be completely independent from the car companies and really show things. I'd like to fly out to Germany and ask questions of car companies that only an independent group can ask, and the people who are currently independent to ask those questions just don't ask them, and they don't care. They just want to have free cars and free trips. That's what it comes down to, really. Bloody hell, there's like a rash of questions up the screen there. Hold on a second. If you go to patreon.com/the next gear and you can subscribe there, right? If you're a subscriber there, I give you one-to-one chats, whatever you like, and you get a shout out in these videos as well whenever I think of it, whenever it occurs to me. But you can give money on Patreon to me at the next gear. You can also do it by PayPal if you want to just give me just straight up cash. It's fine. I'm looking for a channel sponsor. If anyone knows a sponsor who might be interested at any point, you can sponsor a channel, but you can't do it if you're a car company. But you can do it. You can do it if you're associated. So a tire company or something like that would be good if you want to sponsor the channel. Did you say the new 5 Series soon? I do earn next month sometime. I think. I can't remember. Which car would you pick between Ford Kuga or Tiguan? Tiguan. I'd go Tiguan there, Keith. Kuga is not as nice looking. I don't think you're going to like it as much as at the front door. I think the drive pretty similar, but I don't think you're going to like the look of it as much. Especially that kind of dent in the bonnet. Funny. Ford Focus 1.6 diesel or Skoda Octavia 1.6 diesel, which is better? Ford Focus I would go with on this one because it's only 1.6 diesel. If you go up to the 2-litre diesel, I go with the Skoda Octavia. In certain specs, the Octavia is nicer and more comfortable. Ford Focus is a little bland, and there's a lot of them on the road. Ford Focus is an awful lot of them. Skoda Octavia is getting a bit longer in the tooth now. That'll be replaced soon. If I was ever being honest fully in my list, they would be all Hondas. Fell in love with VTEC engines. Cool. How do you become a moderator? I haven't a clue how you become moderator. I don't know. I don't even know how the moderator gets here, or did he even get no. So I haven't a clue anything about moderation. Other than I moderate up to this point. Favorite driving roads in or outside of Ireland? I don't really have a favorite driving road. Driving road is down to mood sometimes. If you know what I mean. So if you're in the right mood, and it could be a road that you just know well. That's usually the favourite driving road, is a road you know well. You can predict the corners, you know where things are, and you can kind of tuck in the nose of the car a bit tighter on a normal corner. But Uh, my favourite driving experience was I was on my own on a motorway in a Skoda Fabia driving back from Lisbon in Portugal to Ireland, and I was absolutely alone, and a good mate of mine, Paddy Common, was in a car right next to me on his own, and he was tapping the steering wheel. We were just driving along beside each other on a motorway, not talking to one another, we were just there beside each other for the whole way there. It was just good crack. It was a nice drive. Um, One free question, says John Wynn. You ask millions of questions here on this channel, so you can ask whatever question you want. Do you have a video of the M4 at Mondello? No, because I had a quick spin around the M4, but I didn't. I've driven the M4 before. There's a video of me driving the M4 on the international launch in Portimao racetrack on my channel. What's my top 5? Oh yeah, I have to give a top 5. God, I'm gone now. Anyway, number 1 would be a Volkswagen California. Still Volkswagen California. So I'll leave it at that for the moment. I'll come back to another minute. Any recommendations of professional car detailers in Dublin? There's a fella on Facebook. God, I can't remember his name. I'll get you that detail. There's a fella that I not work with, but he's on Facebook, and he's always showing me the detailer stuff. He puts up little pictures, and it's brilliant. Bob, do you do full length 10-minute videos anymore, or just daily shorts? Once in a while, Liam, I do 10-minute stuff, 8-minute stuff. They're fun. The problem was people were watching the majority of the video, but the subscriber base and the views weren't rising, so they weren't going up. And so not like it was flatlining, it was growth, but it was very slow growth. Now I've gone to these short videos, these short, like specifically looking at the interior, specifically looking at the exterior. The view rate has gone up that way. Like 205,000 people have watched videos in the last short while. Which was that's just on a different level. So every once in a while, yes, you're right, William. Every once in a while, there will be a longer video that will come out on a video that really will be something different for you to look at. Definitely, I'll still keep doing it. I love those videos; they're really nice, and the kind of gentleness that brings them around. Tomorrow is the launch of the new Golf. When I say new, it's a refreshy Golf thing. So I'll be driving at that, and we'll make a longer video at that one. Be nice, huh? I'm trying to find that guy on Facebook. I am sorry. I will come back to you in 1 second. I'll find him in a second. Did I miss something there? I did, of course. I think the rise in views are down to live streams. No, they're not. Looking at my analytics behind the scenes, the general view count has risen right across the channel, and some of that will come just because I make more videos, so you get more views. But the watch time has increased, and that's down to live streams, because the live streams are 3 hours long. That's it. Favorite driving experience ever: road trip from Lisbon to Madrid, Barcelona, Montpellier, Monaco, Genoa, Naples, Cantalina, all the way back to Malta and the Fiat Punto and back. Yes. Oh, bloody hell, that's a long way around. The high mileage Skoda, that's just put off for the moment, Tobias. The car is being used in something at the moment, so it's just not available to me, but it will be coming. The high mileage Skoda Octavia video will be a long video too as well. It'll be 6 or 8 minutes at least, but it'd be good. I don't know where that Golf launch is on. I haven't a clue, fully I don't know. Someone will ring me in the morning and tell me, I'm sure. And I'm sure I'll get an email from Volkswagen reminding me to go along to these things. So I forget where these things will be on until it's the day. My calendar goes, bing, be here, do this. I will ask about that CarNet at the launch tomorrow, John Wynn. No problem. 3 vehicles to have every day. 3? Why do you need 3 for every day? Why don't you ask Mixed Garage as sponsor? I never, I don't know. I never asked anybody to be a sponsor so far. I haven't asked anyone, Stephen. So if you know somebody that works in any of these companies, tell them to get in touch with me if they're interested in sponsoring the channel. It doesn't mean that I'm going to just go the whole time, oh, this episode is brought to you by... That's not great either. I don't want to drive people away because of the advertising on it. But at the same time, I don't want to be sitting here going, you know what, this amount of views that I get is no good and it's very hard to continue. Car companies love the amount of views I get, don't get me wrong. There's a huge interaction. I'm the #1 car YouTuber in Ireland by a long way, right? So I've 13 million people or something has watched the video, so it's a crazy amount and it's rising rapidly. The problem is to take the next step, to go beyond where we are right now, where I am right now, to go beyond that, to create bigger, better videos and more often videos and more generous videos. I need help. I need someone to come in and do the filming or do the editing or take responsibility as part of the whole thing. So that you can't do that for free. You just cannot bring people in and go, you're going to work for free from now on, because it's very busy. So the only thing I can do is to extend it and start paying somebody, or at least pay for hotels or something when we're going places. So, and you just go to patreon.com / the next gear and done. Can you do a TV show instead of the RTT TV3? Liam, I'd certainly make something for television. I have no problem with that. I don't have the contacts to do that. That is a very closed network of people that actually get that sort of stuff done. You need a production company to get involved with you to do that. And I'm not too sure RTE are interested in making a car show, because they already have Top Gear, even though they're ancient episodes of Top Gear, but they do have Top Gear, and that means they've already got a car show. Will you be doing a full-time YouTube from now on? I was a full-time YouTuber for the last 7 years. It's the longest job I have ever had in the history of town. That's it. What's your opinion on the issues with the Garda, Bob, regarding penalty points and breath tests? Well, look, we don't know. The thing is, TDs are pointing fingers and the Garda are pointing fingers back at them. I don't know what the truth of all that is. I don't know why you'd bother inflating the amount of breathalyzers that you've done. I don't really understand why you'd want to do that. Why don't you just get out and breathalyze people? I have to make a point though. In this country, I have never been breathalyzed. Not once. Not by anybody, ever. So I don't know what the answer is, really. I don't know why they need to sort that out, in a way. Luke Brophy. Hi, Bob. I love your channel. Great honest reviews, living in Laois like yourself. Good man. I live in Portlaoise, not far away. Quick question. What's your opinion on the Golf R and suitability for Irish roads? Golf R is one of the best cars you will get in Ireland at the moment for a hoon of a drive, but very safe, because it's 4-wheel drive. It's very good. It's also very reasonable. It's not a massive step from a Golf GTI to a Golf R in price. I am 45 years old, Titus. I was 45 on the 13th of March, so that's just gone. 3 vehicles to have. One for fun, Porsche 911. Yeah, I'd go GT3 RS. I was going 911, but I might go maybe Carrera 2S. Might go the other end of the scale. Carrera 2S might be good. An Audi A6 Estate, one for travelling. Range Rover Discovery. I'd go Range Rover Vogue on that one. Fantastic Sunday service. Thanks for it, Bob. We've got to go by. Look after yourself, man. See you later. I have a holiday home in France, and the best roads I've ever driven was a route to Nepal. I can pronounce that. Was everyone's bucket list. I'm lucky because I do it every summer, and you can do it too. Well done. Master Delft. Yes, my sweetheart. What the hell does that mean? Are you blowing kisses at me? That's not going to work. I'm afraid there's no future in this relationship, Master Deft. And the moderator to lead you anyway. Right, I think we can call time on the Sunday service, ladies and gentlemen, because I have to put on the roast chicken. Thank you all very much for watching. If you would please, first of all, click the like button. Second of all, will you please subscribe? For God's sake, click the subscribe button at the bottom. And if you want to get notifications about this sort of stuff, you click the little bell beside it, okay? It's not sexual offence. Fine, don't worry about it. Click the little bell and you get a little notification will pop up on the screen when I do these sort of things. And if you want to support the channel to keep it free and keep it absolutely independent, go to patreon.com / the next gear. And top five. Okay, so 640 diesel would be the second one. Alfa Romeo Quattro Fligio and a Ford Mustang. Boom, 5 cars just like that, and that will do me for the rest of my life. Anyway, make sure you check us out on Patreon, The Next Gear. You can check it out there. And somebody has to go to the toilet. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm all right. Check out The Next Gear. You can send it to me by direct if you want. You can go by PayPal at bobflav@thenextgear.com. And until the next time, which will be tomorrow, I will see you on the far side.